welcome. It's episode 70 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. I'm your host, JD. We're talking retro gaming. We got the PS5 reveal. Got our theme. Guys, I'm excited for this episode.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy it, yes.
It was nice playing games that didn't suck.
I think we really tried on this one.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hey, let's play games before they got bad. Oh my god, what an idea.
Crazy. I know.
Yes, that is our theme. It was Kevin's pick.
You're
Titled
welcome.
it Before the Fall, which means what? Kevin?
Means games all get bad because you either, die a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
The Hulk
So,
Hogan theory, yes.
Sure, if you want to go that way, or again, reverse Triple H. So, games get bad because people just don't know where to stop. Developers change teams. They lose sight of what even made their series good in the first place.
Mhm.
And we just want to remember the good times before, Activision became Activision, let's say. Before
That's one way to look at it.
EA. I mean, we literally have an the Spyro Activision. Anyway, spoilers.
Spyro became Activision.
There you go. Am I wrong then?
Was it Spyro? Was it Activision? I thought it was Sony. Did Sony become Activision?
No, I think Sony just lost the... I haven't looked into this exactly.
Because the first three games, which we play the third, is made by Insomniac because they had to deal with Sony. And then,
Right, and then-
they left because they didn't own Spyro and they went on.
See, Universal
Another thing.
banged Activision to become EA. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
all right. Yeah, they were. Yeah, Universal.
Yes.
I always get this. Sony, Universal, they're all the same.
Yeah.
No, Sony Computer Entertainment just had a license deal with Insomniac. Yeah, there, Alexa.
What the hell?
Yeah, haven't heard my Alexa in forever.
Alexa, why does it hurt when I pee?
But yeah, the license I think went up with SCEA, and
Yes.
I believe Activision or someone else then just took the Insomniac license. They started making games for them and had different expectations, and you know the drill, kind of the EA syndrome of it all.
Insomniac
Yes.
didn't have the license to Spyro. They created it just for PlayStation.
Well,
Like
then I
PlayStation,
guess-
they asked them, "Hey, we need this," and they're like, "Okay, here you go."
Then maybe,
And that's why the first three games are
someone
good, because they made the first three games and then they jumped off. They didn't sign any more contracts with them, and they went on and made Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Huh. Crazy.
Awesome how that stuff works out.
Yeah, science.
Yeah, been an awesome week. Joey, what game have you been playing? Games.
I've been playing FIFA.
Lots of FIFA?
I've been playing Be a Pro. I took Sunderland from League
Sunderland.
One to the championships.
You have
funny-
Kiefer Sutherland on your team? Crazy.
So I'm in the championship league and I'm in Europa somehow. I think I won the FA Cup or something. So
Hmm.
I'm playing in Europe and I'm in the second league in England with a team full of 60s. I'm the only one in the 80s. So it's kind of interesting, kind of challenging.
One person team.
Crazy.
Pretty much.
Are you a striker?
Yes.
Okay. It
But,
would be
I
boring
mean-
playing Create a Pro and you're like the goalie.
The goalie, I think he might.
The
I don't know if he
keeper.
can be the keeper, but that would suck. That'd be so boring. But I
He's
mean,
center
there's
back.
times where my team sucks so much that I just sit there and wait because they can't get the ball to me.
Hmm.
So, but I mean, I'm just playing. Hopefully, this season I can move into a better team.
Get out of that Sunderland mess. Gotta go play for like Sheffield Wednesday, the real teams out there.
Actually, they did offer, but I was like, "You're literally." I was like, it was after I made it to the championship. I have Sunderland third, and they're like second to bottom, and they offered me. I'm like, "No."
Come on,
Why
they
would I
want,
wanna
they
go
want you to
down?
take them higher.
Yeah, no, fuck Sheffield.
So just the FIFA? Is it FIFA 20 or what?
Yeah, FIFA 20. Yeah, that's pretty much all I played.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
just
remember
had a
playing anything
sale.
else.
Oh,
Yeah, I got it really cheap. So,
Just in time before the next game. Good job, guys.
well, it's
Nailed
not like
it.
they changed Be a Pro or anything. And the last one I had, I think, is 15.
It's not
So
like they
it's been a
change
while since I
anything
bought it.
year to year. Am I right?
you're not wrong.
They changed. They've put all their focus on the thing that people pay money on. They don't care about Be a Pro.
What a
Yeah.
crazy thought.
Yeah, that's not changing anytime soon.
Hmm.
God, I remember in college when the Ultimate Team first came out, and it was just this awesome idea. It was so much fun. Nothing was streamlined through crazy microtransactions. They existed, but no one really bought them. At least in the community I was in. And then all of a sudden, like, after about a year or two of doing that, it just became the whole game. Well, I guess I'm not buying FIFA anymore.
You want to know what's crazy? Is somehow people really, really like watching YouTube videos on that.
I know, like opening the packs and...
Yeah, I don't get that. Like,
All the
why do
games
I
too.
want to watch you do that? Like, I want to watch you play
if you can't
FIFA.
afford it, you can watch someone and you're like, yay, look what we got. We got this player.
Yeah,
I never got that. And like when I started streaming, I always see people talking like plural first person, like, we're going to work on this tonight. I'm like, who's we? You're streaming. Like, who's we are doing this? I never got that. Like,
Kevin,
we unlocked Melee.
It's called marketing.
It's dumb, though.
I know it's dumb, but that's what people do, and there's a lot of people that it's almost like a subliminal message where you just get into it, like the WWE universe. We are all together. We are a family. We're all part of
authority.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are all of that. It's all on purpose.
I know it is.
I think it works though with multiplayer games when you actually can bring in your viewers, but when you're playing a single player game, fuck you. I'm not playing with you.
I don't want to play with you. I hate you.
I came to watch you fail. I'm not going to be part of this.
I can't even watch you fail.
I hate you. I don't want to be a part of this.
Oh man.
According to this one TED Talk I saw, unboxing videos and opening Kinder Egg videos are like crack for kids.
Yes, they are.
So that's part of it.
Ooh, somebody's mowing a lawn outside. That won't be distracting.
I hope that doesn't come out in your audio. That would be a pain in the ass to get rid of.
I'll just constantly hit the Discord mute button. Don't mind me.
Hi, kitty cat.
So now you hear a ping every time I'm about to speak.
Oh, that'll be fun. I'm sure the viewers won't enjoy that at all.
It's like a calling card knowing I'm coming in. They're going to be like, yes, Kevin's here.
All right. Is that it for you, Joey? Just a lot of FIFA?
Yeah, pretty much.
What's the most goals you've scored in a game so far?
I got 5 in one game.
Who was it against? Sheffield Wednesday?
No, I forget who it was. It was one of the cup games, and it was just ridiculous because I think we won 10-0. And I'm not even playing on the easiest difficulty. I think I'm playing on pro or semi-pro or something, so I shouldn't be winning that bad, but that team just sucked.
Think you could finally beat me more often these days?
Probably not. My shooting is still not on point. So.
Okay.
And if I actually have to control the whole team, no, because I can't play defense. Who wants to play defense?
Defense is boring.
I did play a little bit of Satisfactory because that's on Steam now, so I bought it again.
Colin, I believe you're up. Jesus, cat.
So the only non-podcast game I've been playing is Final Fantasy VII Remake, and even that I've only been pecking away at. Been spending a lot of time on podcast games, and not just the ones for today. Got a couple of upcoming topics that cover fairly lengthy games, so I've been hard at work on a couple of those. In addition to today's, I've been also watching a lot of Batman the Animated Series at night. Got the box set of the complete show on Blu-ray, so I've been watching 1 or 2 episodes a night. Still holds up pretty well, I must say, although it can't seem to decide what era it takes place in.
And I must say, Colin, your voice is coming in crystal clear today.
Awesome.
I love it. I'm sure the listeners love it as well.
Different computer. Yeah, it's pretty much all I've been playing is podcast games and Final Fantasy VII Remake.
How far are you in the remake?
I'm at chapter 14.
So the plate just fell? Yes?
And this is where Kevin jumps in saying spoilers. But
do Sora and Cloud. Oh wait, it's Final Fantasy. Does Eris and Barrett? I got nothing. Sorry.
We're not that far into the story yet, or at least
nice. So it can happen. Can't wait till they kiss.
Anything could happen.
Okay, then I guess I'll go. It seems we except Joey, we've all been playing Final Fantasy games. Because I saw Kevin. I guess you'll talk about it in a second. You were streaming Final Fantasy 9. Yeah. But I got an update on Final Fantasy 6. First, I beat Bloodstained. I talked about it on the latest Modern Game Cast. I sort of streamline that into explaining another game on that cast. But the long story short is Bloodstained was awesome. The problem is I basically needed a guide from the entire point of the end game to get the good ending. Because what you need are at least 3 other items, and they're scattered throughout the game, and you don't really know you need them until you find out that there's an alternative area you gotta go to unlock the ending. And then you have to slice the moon, which is this really tiny hint that you need to do that, but it's not clear in any conceivable way. And then if you don't know it, like if you just miss one item, you won't know you need that until you get halfway through the it's a stage where everything's like 3 times the size of normal. You know that Mario 64 level, Little Big World or whatever it is? You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
The best level, yes.
Yeah, where everything becomes gigantic. You're tiny.
Absolute best level.
Yeah, same thing happens in Bloodstained. You get to a boss fight where, you gotta get an item, and then there's also a boss fight where you have to have what they call the Aegis armor. This makes you impervious to traps in the world. So there was just... I had to use a guide throughout the end game, and that was kind of aggravating. But then when I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, this game wanted to be as old school Castlevania as possible. It wanted to be a lot of Symphony of the Night. Eventually, I did get the thing where you can flip the world, but it's more like Gravity Rush, where you're flipping yourself, which then in turn flips the world. Know what I mean?
Oh, I haven't played Gravity Rush, but I'll take your word for it.
Colin knows what I'm talking about. But you've played Symphony of the Night, haven't you, Kevin?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So you basically control gravity on yourself, which is closer to Gravity Rush than, say, Symphony of the Night, where the entire castle turns upside down. You could just do this.
Sounds a bit like VVV.
Yes, like that as well.
I love that game.
So I really loved Bloodstained. The last 3 out of the last 4 bosses were absolutely maddening and tough. I had fun fighting them. It definitely felt like end boss stuff. Everything. It was fun. It was a very fun game. So big thumbs up. And then I've been at... I haven't really decided what modern game I'm going to go back to and try and beat. I'm thinking a Hitman game, or just what I'm going to play on the side. I'm thinking a Hitman game. I'm still not in the Yakuza or Tomb Raider mood just yet. Since Kevin, you know this, you burn yourself out on franchises, right? You don't want to totally ruin experiences for yourself. So you gotta play something.
Pokemon.
Yeah, you gotta play something in between to kind of make the mind want it again, right?
Yes, make the mind want it.
So I'm thinking, Fire Emblem or
always Fire Emblem. Just Fire Emblem. Do it.
It's such a time investment. That's I'm worried, especially since I'm still playing Final Fantasy VI.
It's only a time investment if you really want. Like, you can pick up and put down Fire Emblem. Just do a mission, done. Like, at least in the older ones. You know,
there's just a lot of talking and whatnot. The first one, so
that's what they do. 3 houses, a lot of dialogue. That school thing takes way too much time.
Yeah, that's probably one of my least favorite parts of the game. But anyways, so yeah, Final Fantasy VI. I don't remember where I last left off talking about it on the podcast, I know Kefka had just completely taken over the world, fucked it up, and my team has been scattered. So you are now Celeste, and she starts on an island, and she has to take care of her like sick grandfather, and you have to get a bunch of fish. I let this dude die. I didn't know how many. I wasn't gonna stay there and collect fish for this dude. So I leave, and I'm basically going from town to town, land to land, collecting the old team members. It's almost like the beginning of Octopath Traveler, is what it was reminding me of. Evan, you're more familiar with this.
Yeah, I remember both that area in Final Fantasy VI and Octopath. That part was like, that's kind of like your midway point, so you're getting there.
Yeah, it felt like the game was much past a midway point, but then the more I thought about it, it's like, yeah, I bet there's still, because this feels like it's going to take a huge chunk of time. Because I've got, let's see, I met Setzer, got the airship, so that's kind of making it quicker. I got Cyan, and now I'm searching for Gao, because I assume he's back at the Veld. Or the Gelt? Whatever the piece of wildland that he hangs out in.
Wildland.
Excuse me?
I'm trying to think what piece of wildland you're speaking about.
Yeah, the Veld, the Gelt, whatever it's called. I think Gelt's a disease, actually.
Probably it's called the Gelt then.
Yeah, I haven't found our main thief guy yet, and Terra's helping orphans out, so I was like, oh, more orphans. Every game I have to get just every game has to have orphans these days. Quite aggravating. Oh, you want to join our team? We got to save the world. I got these orphans to take care of.
Well, you hate orphans, so don't forget that.
It's like they know.
They do.
So, yeah. I think I'm a little overpowered in the game. I think. It seems a bit more on the easy side. I have a lot of magic points, so I can just blast enemies away with fire 2s just all the time. The night guy. I'm really bad at the names today. Now that I think about it, I think I'm only missing Gao and our thief. Anyways, having fun. It's not bad. I'm really enjoying the story. It's just the way the game utilizes all of the like guardian forces, or your spirits. There's just so many of them. I think it's just too much to keep track of all the time. I'm like, do I want this character? I got everyone to make sure that they have cure abilities. That seems to be the most important, and remedy. But then besides that, just sticking with one to match the character, because otherwise it's just too much to keep track of. Anyone else go through this with Final Fantasy VI?
Yeah, I had similar problems going through that.
Yeah.
I didn't really like reclaiming my party. I kind of felt like that was a lot of padding. There's one story sequence that's kind of like a little bit of character development, but I don't know. After that, the only tip I can give you is that make sure you use everybody and get them to a decent level. I don't know how far spoilers you want me to get, but there's a point where like everyone is going to be used, and I kind of dick myself with like, oh, I didn't use these like 4 characters at all. So
I've been frequently switching them out.
Even like the little monkey character I hated using, I was like, oh shit, I gotta use him. So yeah, just make sure you do that.
Yeah, I believe everyone's about at level 35, 36. I just kind of rotate 2 characters at a time. I did the same thing with Octopath Traveler and never ran into any issue. So, I guess we'll see how fast I'll play this game from this point forward. It's a slow go, especially with Last of Us 2 coming out in a few days at the end of the week.
I stupidly started a new game when I'm like, well, in a week, Last of Us is coming out, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
whoops.
That's why I'm like really hesitant to completely start a new game. Because I'm like, if I start a new game, I'm going to have to beat it before Friday. Otherwise, I won't be going back to that anytime soon. All right, Kevin, you're last.
I am last, as they call me, I always come last anyway. So what have I started? I beat
Awkward if you
Pokemon
come
Gaia.
first.
Yeah, well, it's a race, So I beat Pokemon Gaia. That is a great ROM hack that everyone should go download and play. I appreciate that developer because they have their own like little jabs at themselves. Like, there's a Game Freak headquarters in every game.
Absolutely, yes.
There's also a criminal character sprite who goes, "Meh, see what I'm doing here is I'm taking the code, reusing it for my own purposes and making my own game, and then I'm putting it on the internet for no profit." I'm like, I get it. You're funny because Nintendo thinks you're an asshole. So that was a good game, especially if you like the fire red, leaf green graphic style, but having all the new Pokemon and all the new mechanics involved. It's a really, really good ROM hack. That guy put a lot of love and work into it. I also found a shiny Altaria in that game. So that's cool. Only my second shiny ever that isn't a red Gyarados. I guess you can count that Haunter I had in the randomizer, but that was going to be shiny no matter what. So I beat that, and then I moved into Prey for the PS4, which is my Game Club's Game of the Month game, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it much either.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine that loves that game. He called it Biospace, which I thought was a bold claim. Like, I get the Bioshock vibes, and the problem with it is
so
that
much to read all the fucking time.
Well, there's a lot to read, but the problem I have with this game is that the first thing, like one of the first things it said was, play this game your way. And I was like, okay, so I can either be guns blazing, gung-ho, or stealthy. What it really means is play this game your way, provided it's our way, which is really, really stealthy. Because I never had ammo. Yeah, I never had ammo. I never had enough resources to do what I needed. So I was like, okay, so this is a survival horror game. The problem with this is that I don't know what's killing me half the time, because most of the enemies are things called mimics who take the shape of anything. So I don't know where they are. So I don't know what I'm shooting at. And then there's phantoms who just don't die no matter what. I just had a bunch of useless junk in my inventory that I could use to make materials, but I couldn't figure out where to put the materials to use them for something else.
There's a big recycle bin up on the...
The recycle bin makes the cubes, but then I didn't know what the cubes did.
If I remember correctly, there's a computer right next to it.
Whatever. Either way, there were too many steps to get what I needed. I have no problem with the game being survival style if it's good. But I had the same problem I had with Red Faction, where this game wants me to do things whatever way, but now you got to be stealthy. So it's like jack of all trades, master of none kind of deal. It hooked me in the start, and then I was slowly like, man, I'm not having fun. I am loading, dying, loading, dying, loading, dying. And some lives would be less than a minute.
Have you tried putting the game on an easier mode?
I just didn't care.
Okay.
It's not the difficulty, because the other game I played, what a transition, was Mega Man ZX I finally beat, and that is the hardest game I've ever played in my life. Because I love a good Metroidvania, but
harder than Dark Souls?
I don't know, because Dark Souls is bad, and so I stopped playing it. But I think did I talk about the map system on ZX last time? I don't know if I did, where it doesn't have a normal Metroidvania map. It's just kind of this hex system of here's the G section.
I remember you saying this, yeah.
So that goes on, but the problem is, and I don't remember if I said this either because I had bad memory, is all the save points are after you beat a boss, not right before. So
if you die in a boss fight, you have to redo the whole level?
You have to do that whole little section again. Yeah. So the boss rush, as most Mega Man games do, comes at the end of the game. Fight the 8 bosses.
Sure.
Then you beat the level, right? Then you're like, okay, you got through the boss rush. Now the final boss. This one is do the 8 bosses. I'm sorry, survive a platforming challenge that's incredibly hard. Beat 2 bosses. Do another platforming challenge. Beat 2 more, and so on until you beat all 8. Mind you, you have only a certain number of lives to do all of that.
Oof.
And if you have sub-tanks, you better make them last, because after you beat the 8 bosses, there's no save point. It's right into the final boss.
That sounds like Cuphead level hard.
No, Cuphead level was easier, because you can get into a rhythm with Cuphead. And you're like, okay, I know what to do,
wow.
la 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 la. ZX is the hardest boss rush of any Mega Man game, harder than Mega Man 1, because I went around, I was like, let me fill my sub-tanks, only to finally learn the bosses enough to where I can get to the final boss, and then go, oh, my sub tanks don't refill. So now I have to be so good. I have to beat these 8 bosses, survive their little mini levels in between, and have enough sub tank left over for the final boss 2 stages. Yeah, it's bullshit. That being said, great game. You should all play it. Like, it's honestly really fun.
That
still.
Immediately sounds like something I just would not be able to beat.
You can with enough perseverance. But like the biggest complaint with ZX is that none of the powers feel like they're necessary. Other than the specific areas you need them, like one suit can maneuver in water faster, but beyond that, I just use the X or Zero suit the whole time. So that's kind of disappointing, but hey, Mega Man Metroidvania, you tried. Hopefully the sequel's better. I'll try that. They have another one. Who would have guessed? And then I'm also playing Monster Hunter Freedom Unite on the PSP, but I smartly play it on the Vita, where you can remap the D-pad to the right analog stick, and it's kind of like having controls for a camera. But not really. Still not great. Man, I don't know how Monster Hunter ever got popular. And once you go back and play older ones, I was talking about it.
Playing with friends, that's how.
Well, yeah, maybe, but like in the pre-show, I was saying like in Monster Hunter 3 and up, when you go to a pile of rocks you can mine, a little icon comes up and goes, mine this. And then you're like, okay, I got the material. This one is like, here's some rocks that look like background. Can you mine it? Oh, try it. Oh, I got something. Oh, look, another one that looks just like that. Can I mine that one? Oh, it says I can't. Yeah, go fuck yourself. And it's just like that with bugs, herbs, everything, like carving monsters.
It's a lot of trial and error to figure out what the game wants from
shit.
you. Yeah.
I have to look up everything. Like I can't.
I remember when
tell.
I first got that, when I was working offshore, and I got this game for my PSP, and I just brought it offshore, and I'm like, okay, I've never played a Monster Hunter game before. This will probably kill a lot of time out here. And
it does.
Oh, it definitely kills a lot of time. But the first 2 hours I was playing this thing, I was like, what do I even do? I don't know where to go, what to do, how to do anything. I'm trying to look up guides with this stupid slow ass internet in the middle of the ocean.
Oh my god, it's the worst. Like I know it's a PSP, but the background sprites and foreground sprites are so non-distinguished. Like, can I pick this up? Can I use this? I don't fucking know, dude. Just try it. Oh, you can't. Sucker. And it's I don't know.
Campfire. I don't know.
I don't know how Monster Hunter ever got popular, other than my default explanation, hello lawnmower, which is just Japan. That's the only thing I can describe. Man, people must really love doing the most tedious stuff. That being said, I'm having a great time with it.
Yeah.
So
play with friends, man.
Nobody has a PSP copy. Everyone's like, yo, why don't you play World? I'm like, because I hate you. That's not why, but
Joey's playing World.
I play World on PS4.
I play it on Steam.
Yeah, well, whatever, nerd. I got a gaming PC. It's really good at not playing PC games.
And you just started Final Fantasy IX, correct?
Oh yeah, that's right. I started. So once I got done with Prey, and I was mad at it, our other game
so you're
of the quarter,
done with Prey. You're done with it completely.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going back.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm getting better at putting down games I'm not having fun with.
Would you believe I actually beat that game?
Prey?
I did.
Shit. Okay, you hate yourself. I get that.
I played it with a friend. He really liked it, so we ended up beating that sucker together. And I'm like, Jesus Christ! You want to know how it ends?
Sure. I'm not going back to it.
He was an alien the whole time.
Whoa. That's the most generic answer I've ever heard. What was the other thing? No, my buddy likes it. Maybe he could help me and sit and show me how I'm doing it wrong, but I don't really care. Because Final Fantasy IX is a better game. So I'm starting that one because it's our game club game of the quarter. We got to have some RPGs up in there.
Right.
It takes 3 months to beat an RPG, according to math I did one night. Not really. But Final Fantasy IX is great. When it comes down to the PlayStation Final Fantasies, people either go 7 is the best or overrated. Only 2 options. And people go with 8. They go 8 is the worst piece of shit, or the people go 8 is fucking great. You don't know what you're talking about. And the only thing I've ever heard about 9, that people go, yeah, 9's pretty good. I've never heard anyone go,
that's because a lot of people haven't played it.
Well, that's the thing. But the people that played 9, I don't know anyone that's like, yeah, 9 sucks, man. Don't play 9. But 7 or 8 have like I said, you know, it's 8 is like fuck you or this is great. 7's like this is great or overrated. Nobody
There's a lot of people that say 6 is the last good Final Fantasy because it's not computer graphic.
Yeah, because those are retro gaming elitists who are like, ugh, games are on discs now.
I can say this for sure. I much rather prefer a more concise small party.
Yeah.
In Final Fantasy games.
I do too. 6 got overwhelming, and I ended up using 4 people, which is why I was like, make sure.
Yeah, I have when I switch out the team members, I'm like, okay, I know in any RPG that has X amount of characters, it's gonna force you to use at least one of them at some point, in which then they're gonna be underleveled, right? So I gotta keep them leveled. So I just dedicate one mission or area to using the characters that I don't really want to pay attention to the most, to just get them further leveled up, and then I can keep my main cast together to just get more invested with them in the story.
Right. So I don't know how deep 9 gets at the party, but like so far from the characters,
Colin would know the answer to that.
How many characters do you get, Colin?
In 9?
Yes.
I'd say about 7 overall. Although you only get to use 3 at a time.
That's fine. Or 4. I use 4.
So that's
right.
2.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, so that's like 2 groups basically.
Yeah.
That's
so
not too bad.
my B team and my star players, like Zidane is cool. He's edgy without being
You have your NWO
annoying.
and then you have your Wolfpack.
Yeah. But like Zidane's cool. I like Steiner because Steiner's always haunting me from the cover.
Everyone
of that
likes
game.
Steiner. Come on.
He's wearing eyeliner because that's cool. Dagger's pretty great. I hate calling her Garnett because I think of
That's my wrestling reference.
I know I saw where you're going with it. I just didn't want to. I don't want to offend the plebeian saying we're doing too much wrestling talk over here.
No, there's never enough wrestling talk. Which I have before we get into the PS5 reveal.
Oh,
I have news. Continue.
All right, we'll get there. Almost done. Vivi's great. I love that little iconic black mage.
Mm-hmm.
And then who's my Blank? Blank sucks. I hate Blank. He's the edgy edgelord of the game so far. But yeah, it's a good game overall.
Not even in your party.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's Patrick. Oh yes. Wait, who's my 4th person now? Like,
dude, the names are just they've rolled together in my head.
Yeah.
Is it the dude with the bushy hair that's like in dreadlocks, or?
Yes, I don't have him yet.
I find myself remembering characters by whatever move they have.
The magic system is also weird that like the equipment is the magic. I gotta get used to that. Not super huge on that, but I'll get used to it. Still better than the wheel in Final Fantasy X.
I think Final Fantasy VII Remake actually has a similar mechanic. There's one move per weapon that you can master, and then once you've mastered it, you can always use it no matter what weapon you have equipped.
I love that mechanic.
Interesting.
I love that one. Joey, you're the only one not playing a Final Fantasy lately. I think it's only appropriate that you have to go back to 11.
I was going to say, are we going to 11? Wait. Go play 14. I heard that one's better.
No.
All right, Joey hates fun.
If you want to hear us continue talk about kind of our initial impressions and thoughts over a lot of Final Fantasy games, we did do an entire podcast dedicated to Final Fantasy, which is coming up on one of our most successful episodes of the Retrocast.
I downloaded it 3 times to make you feel better.
All right, cool.
You're welcome. I mean, I'm a team player. So
our Miss Mascots is still easily number 1.
Awesome possum, bro.
Yeah, right. Arrow the Acrobat. Alrighty. Is that it, Kevin?
Yes, sorry. I'm like trying to click mute because lawnmower. But yeah, no, that's it. I think that's it. Oh, I'm waiting for Last of Us 2, but
Oh, we all are.
I cry. No, wait. I have one more little antidote. I'm sorry. This is like a little quick thing. When I beat ZX, I did a randomizer to spin wheel, games I play. You ever heard of Zen the Intergalactic Ninja?
No, but it sounds amazing just from the title alone.
Probably cool comic book. The Game Boy game is slow and bad, and the NES game is isometric, and they switched the A and B buttons. So I hate it to death. Wise B jump, never do that. And what was the other game I played? Oh, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. You ever play that?
Sounds amazing.
Do you like 2D fighters?
Sure.
Do you like them when like no damage done and everything is chip damage, even when you get a clean hit?
Ooh, sounds challenging.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's bad and slow. So, yeah, that's everything, I think.
Okay.
Played Angry Birds.
All right, let me play the Spyro theme, and then we can get into the little announcements and go into the PS5 reveal.
PS5's a router.
Indeed.
It's a router.
It's an ugly router too.
It looks like Astrobot's slimmer older brother.
All right, well, hold off on those thoughts. So,
No.
podcast update. We do have a website, redleafretrocast.blogspot.com. I've been putting little extra things there for each of the podcast sections. Retro Gaming put up the collage of pictures that also goes up on the Instagram at BullyingJD. If you guys have any ideas of what else we could do for the Retro Gaming, we could totally do that.
10 years is retro. Come on, guys, get with me. I'm tired of this tyrannical reign.
For the every episode there is with a link, whether it's everything's categorized. We have a nice little section of every game we've covered on the podcast, so it's a nice little Control F situation there. If you want to find what episode it's at, you can also Control F for that. Makes it a lot easier. We've covered, I think we're over 400 games at this point on the podcast.
Ooh, no wonder I can never find one that we haven't played. It's a struggle.
Not a struggle. It's no problem. There's a lot of games that have come out over the decades.
There's only 4 games: Donkey Kong, Mario, Zelda, and Monster Hunter. That's it.
There's a lot there. And then the Retrocast I recently put up. I keep up rankings over Wrestler of the Year. So for the latest episode, I just did a quick little why these wrestlers are placed where they are, how many points they've gotten, why. And that goes up on the website, redleafretrocast.blogspot.com. And recently, the wrestling episodes will now be streamlined and also put up on the SOS Wrestling Podcast Network. So the Retrocast will also be found there to expand the audience. And hopefully, if they enjoy the wrestling podcast, they can come over and listen to more of the anime, modern gaming, and retro gaming stuff. So,
who's the number one?
Currently, Jon Moxley is the number one wrestler of the year so far.
Into that.
Good promos, good matches. He's the champion of AEW weekly show. It's a weird year considering the coronavirus, and a lot of companies just haven't run. And if they are, they're empty arena shows, and it's hit and miss if the shows are watchable or not. Let's be honest.
Yep.
So, and AEW's done a very good job. So they kind of have a big advantage the last few months. At least compared to, say, New Japan, that hasn't run at all since February. But they come back tomorrow. Yeah, SOS Wrestling Network. That's the man, LK. You can find him on Twitter. So look forward to all that. Hopefully we get a little audience expansion going through there. And it'd be very much appreciated since the podcast is now hosted by Anchor. A nice little website. We are now on more podcast outlets than ever before, including we are back on iTunes. I don't remember if we were back on iTunes quite yet on the last episode, but we are now. So the problem was iTunes bug has deleted basically all our past links and reviews. So it would really mean a lot to us if you would leave us a nice review on iTunes.
See what you've done, Colin, with your Macs. This is all his fault.
Hey, technology does some crazy things sometimes, and there's some things out of our control.
All part of my plan to take over the cast.
Aw, man, I guess I secede. I mean, wait, surrender. That's the one I was looking for.
All right, so enough about that. PlayStation 5 was revealed on June 11th. I was very excited about it. I've gotten every PlayStation known to man. 1 through 4.
I have some
you might say.
exclusive news about PlayStation, by the way. I wanted to bring to the cast. They're making another one.
Yes, it was revealed.
I know.
That's one
Yes.
being made.
Comes after 4.
But really, is it the 5th one?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I guess technically, if we're going by designs, no.
Or if we're going by the fact that there's a Vita, it lives, and the PSP. So it's not even close to the 5th.
So this is coming off the heels of Xbox's conference where they put a lot of third-party games, advertised gameplay, and there was no gameplay. They previously revealed their giant refrigerator, and I must say, immediately, just get this out of the way, the memes that are coming off of making fun of the designs of the consoles between Xbox and PlayStation is hilarious. I love them all.
When you say giant refrigerator, I think I sent it to you. The PS5 is apparently taller.
Supposedly, yeah.
It's taller and
It's not
wider.
thicker,
Oh, it's
That's the only
wider.
difference. Like it beats
So
it in 2 or 3 dimensions.
One's a book and one is a fridge. Okay. Can't
So
wait to
One
have a
has
nice
wings
table.
too.
I'm gonna have a nice table to put my new router on. It's gonna be great.
my favorite is that, I mean, just as the wrestling fan, my favorite is Kazuchika Okada, because at Wrestle Kingdom this year, he wore this like giant white coat with a massive popped up collar. So all they did was put his head on top of the PS5, and it looks very, very close.
Maybe
It's
that was
amazing.
marketing by Sony. You ever think of that?
That is my favorite. You guys have a favorite so far of all the console memes?
The one I sent this morning of like the funeral meme guys of the 4 PS5s carrying an Xbox.
That one's pretty good.
Seto, Kaiba, and Cell are my favorite ones.
Yeah. Kind
So
of.
I like
with
the-
a
I like
giant
the Kaiba
PS5
one.
hat, yeah.
I also
that was
like
pretty good.
just the router with paper next to it because that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. I saw a PS2 shoved in a binder. That was my other favorite one.
Okay, that's funny.
Actually, I actually asked Tina, and I was like, "What do you think of this?" She goes, and she said it looks like a binder, and I was like, "Okay, got it. We're getting a binder." No, I'm probably not right away, but still.
I just like that everyone was jumping on the Xbox, how terrible it looks, and then PlayStation comes out with this.
Do you
looks like-
remember the prototype look?
It was a
looks
lot
like a-
better
It looked like a projector. How is that better?
because it's better than the wings,
I feel like it's not going to be that bad.
and at least it's not white. I don't like the white look.
Oh no, I'm skimming it the second I get it. White's the only option. Put a decal
Well,
right
you know,
on that
white
girl.
won't be the only option. Not for long.
No,
I don't know.
PS4 only comes in black or special edition.
Yeah, so you get a special
So-
edition like I did.
Okay, so I got to pay an extra $100 because I want a Crash
pay any
Bandicoot
extra.
nut drop on it.
I didn't pay any extra.
He's gonna put his nutsack right on it. I don't know. I'll skin it if it's white.
I like the white.
guess that
I
works.
must be the only, like, at least in our circle, the Discord of the Red Leaf Retrocast and everybody that's involved. I seem to be the only one that likes the design, and I don't care that it's white. I kind of like how different it is. I think it looks. I mean, the first thought that went through my head was kind of looks like my router, but I like the design of the router.
Well, the design is fine. It's just I don't like the color scheme. I'm gonna make memes though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think they're absolutely hilarious, and they're very warranted. I think they're funny. If it's funny, it's funny. I got no problem with that. Just Joey, you were very vocal about you want things to match, and why is this exactly?
So why would I want just one random white appliance next to my TV when everything else is black and meshes with my decor? Now I gotta have this giant ass white thing if I want to get a PS5. At least an Xbox I can put there and it'd be right on my subwoofer. No one would notice.
It is the subwoofer. Whoa!
I could put it on the other side and it'll look like a second subwoofer, so I could make it work.
I can see that. I can see that conversation. Why do you have 2 subs?
But this thing is just, I don't know, it just looks awkward.
Oh, maybe it's. I mean, I like the direction Sony went with being different. I like the different color. They've had a black. Well, I guess the PS1 was gray. But PS2, 3, and 4 are all these black kind of rhombus type designs, right? So this, I think, is a welcome change to me. In it being white, they're definitely going for a future slicker aesthetic to it all. Will that jive with everybody? I used the word jive in 2020. What of it, Colin? Gee, shut up.
The white the white parts that overhang, I'm afraid those are gonna like
Squaresville.
Yeah. So is the PS4 actually. Whoa. Those white parts that overhang, I'm afraid those are gonna like snap off or something though.
You're not the first person that's mentioned that. I just don't like. Why would you put it on the floor for it to be stepped on?
I want to put my soda cans on it. So if I'm drinking a soda, if only like a Japanese company redesigned it so I wouldn't put a soda can on it. Nintendo.
Not everything.
I don't like the one that has the disc slot. It just looks weird with the extra bulge. I mean, it looks fine with just the digital only version, but I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be with keeping it cool because AMD runs hot, and I don't know how much ventilation this thing's going to have.
So the paper on the outside of your router, if you looked a little bit closer when they were going through the whole like Star Wars scene where they're going through the trench and looking at it all, there's ventilation seemingly from top to bottom on it all through the sides, which I found interesting. Will it be able to properly ventilate it and get it away from the system? That's something I was also a little bit worried about. But it seems like they thought about that. That it's not just going to be like everything in the back, one direction, it's throughout the entire system.
Yeah, single fan doesn't work with AMD.
No. So
my computer,
it looks like there's going
I
to be more than one.
I have 6 case fans for my computer with AMD.
Wow.
Plus my GPU has 3 fans for itself, and I have a double fan coolant for my CPU. So I have a lot of fans because AMD runs hot. But it's manageable.
I have a Nyko cooler booster in the back of my PS4, so I have no problems.
Well, you might need to get one for PS5.
They actually don't do fucking anything, but whatever.
Probably just keeps the warm air inside, if anything.
That's exactly what it does, because the air gets warmer and then all the parts are looser, so they run better. It's science.
Yeah, you don't want them getting too stiff. So
nice.
But that being said, even though it's ugly and white, I might get it just because of Miles Morales.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I saw this quote from Jim Sterling. He has opinions that I generally very much respect and agree with because they're very much warranted. And he goes on that says, I've never bought a console just based on its look. The best console is the console with the best games. That's how he sees it. And I was like, man, I really agree with that. Because then at the end of the day, the way I look at it is the way the console looks is a bonus, right? I don't like the Wii. I don't like the original Wii design at all. I think it's a boring rectangle.
Oh, that's ugly too.
It has. I mean, it's just a white rectangle. It's nothing.
If you're going to say the Wii has good library right now, I'm gonna fight you.
It does have a good library.
It has good 20 games.
It has Wii Fit. That's all you need.
Please name me 20 Wii games off the top of your head without looking them up that are good.
Not listing off 20 games.
Because you can't.
Wii Fit and Wii Fit. There's like 20 games in Wii Fit, so there you go.
Yeah, really, the correct answer was just 20 copies of Wii Fit. Good job.
I was just using it as an example.
Xenoblade Chronicles?
It's a Switch game. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. The original Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yes, on 3DS, right.
Don't fall for it, Colin.
Come on.
So yeah, I think the console with the best games is the best console. Speaking of which, just a side tangent, Kevin, thank you for introducing me to that decal for the Switch.
Oh, did you not know about that website?
I had no idea.
Oh, I did that for my 3DS. I did it for my Wii U still has it. My PS3 had one on it. I did it for like everything when I got it. You could put your own pictures on it, so you can get your weird Hatsune Miku skin. Whatever you want.
It's funny that you went there.
Did you get that though?
I got the Legend of Zelda one. It comes with the Odyssey one as well.
Oh, that thing you mean? I thought you meant the skin, the vinyl skins. Oh,
no. I got the So what this is it's like a little plate so there's a bottom rectangle that goes into the bottom of your Switch dock, and you hook up a little USB cord that powers this thing to your dock, and then a plate will just slide right in front of your Switch. And it has an illumination decal of sorts, and it's really cool. I immediately got it, like right then and there. Great, I love it. It brings a little bit more life to my dock because it's just a black little dock thing.
Which one are you gonna put on, the Zelda Eye or the Mario?
Oh, the Dark Order Eye for sure.
Yes, Dark Order. That's what it's meant.
It's not Zelda to me. It's Dark Order. So I like the design. I don't have any problem with white. Like anybody else, like a lot of people do.
White gets dirty, and that's my one issue with it.
You say that, but my Wii and Dreamcast are white, and they're just perfectly fine.
Is it like, compare your Dreamcast to like a brand new Dreamcast though?
Yeah, like it yellows over time,
and you don't notice it until like you look at somebody else's like pristine Dreamcast, and you go, "Oh."
Who even has a pristine Dreamcast anymore?
Yeah, I mean that's another thing.
Yeah, okay. Try some Retro Bright on it. See how good it gets.
I have a white Xbox One controller that is pretty sweet, but
controllers are never getting white. Ugh.
I mean, it's white right now.
My hands.
Yeah, I hope there's not just all white PS5 controllers. Like that's what it looks like. Can I just get black controllers? I can deal with the white console. Can I just have like black controllers?
I always get a different colored controller. Always. Days. All right, well, let's get into the games, because I think we've talked about a lot of the feel of the system itself. Well, are you guys into the digital edition at all?
Probably, if I get it, I'll probably get the digital edition. Yeah. Why do I need discs?
There was a Target leak. Who knows if it's any true at all, but it was $400 for the digital edition and just under 2 terabytes, which seems pretty much as high as they can go, I would imagine, with keeping it that price point. But you're definitely going to need more.
If it's Sony, they do expandable hard drives pretty easily, so you could probably replace it.
Slap on something with the USB in the back, whatever kind of connection they have. Get an external, you're good to go.
So
you use a Sony cloud and you store everything in the cloud.
Ooh, no thanks.
Oh yeah.
Shouldn't be too bad as long as you have space on the console you cache some of the game you're playing, and it should work fine.
I mean, you know me. I'm going physical. Gotta do it.
How much extra is it for the physical?
I mean, I've been going since day one that it's a $500 price point. So
$100 more just to put some discs in there? That seems to be
but you can also use PS4 discs because backwards compatibility.
I don't have PS4, so I don't have any PS4 discs. So
I'm Joey. I play everything on PC. Look how cool I am.
Hey, no, I'm playing FIFA on the Xbox.
Oh wow, what a choice!
I just never upgraded from my PS3, and then I sold my PS3.
What about you, Colin?
What was the question again? I was kind of going through my notes.
Are you going physical or digital?
Physical.
Physical?
Always physical.
Yeah, same as me. Alrighty. Let's get into the game. I listed every game throughout the conference. I thought from a game standpoint, Sony nailed this out of the park. They focused on a lot of games from PlayStation Studio being exclusive. They got some neat little indie games in there to get them a much bigger platform than they would ever get, which is nice to see. And they got it seems they got some big time third parties for a timed console exclusive release, which is a pretty cool thing. That's nothing new in the gaming industry at all, where games will be console exclusive for 3 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it might be. So that's nothing new. Nothing to get too upset about. All right. any thoughts on that front, or shall we just go straight into the games?
Sorry, I got a peanut butter jelly on me. Yeah,
Straight to the games.
You're straight into the games.
Okay. So they started off with Grand Theft Auto 5 expanded and enhanced, and you'll get it
exclusively for the PS5 and on no other system whatsoever.
And you'll get a free PS Plus membership for this thing in 2021 or whatever.
So,
GTA 5 is the new Skyrim.
I was gonna say, is Rockstar just Bethesda now?
I thought that was absolutely hilarious. Like, hey, everyone's here for this PS5 reveal. Here's GTA 5 from 2013.
I'm surprised Skyrim wasn't also announced.
I'm sure it will be.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So once they got GTA 5 out of the way, that's when they finally kicked things off. So I was cracking up. I'm like, why would you? Okay, I guess it makes all the money, so I suppose. All right, so then they kicked us off with Miles Morales, the Spooderman Miles.
Which I'm excited for.
A lot of people are. I'm not a Spooderman guy, but I'm sure you and Kevin
Miles Morales.
Well, so there was a big controversy with this already because, why not?
Conflicting reports are coming out about it.
Yeah, so I guess some Sony European executives said it was an expansion and a remaster, but now Insomniac is saying, no, it's a brand new game. And from everything I've gotten, it's like a how Uncharted Lost Legacy was to Uncharted 4. It's like it's standalone. You can play by yourself, but you should probably play the first one first. That makes sense.
I mean, either way, it's going to be big enough to be considered a game on its own.
Yeah, but it's going to be like a 10-hour thing. How long was Spider-Man?
18, 20?
Yeah, so it's probably going to be like a little 10-hour thing.
I mean, there's so much to do in Spider-Man, it's going to take longer than 10 hours.
Especially with all the DLC.
Right.
Oh, hopefully. Because I heard it was more of a spin-off type thing, because they didn't want to try to cram him into the sequel with the other Spider-Man and try to make it rush. They wanted him to have his own kind of game that kind of intermeshes, but doesn't fully change the story of what they were going with the one on the PS4.
I like that idea.
Makes sense. I mean,
got no problem with that.
In comics continuity, Miles Morales is in an alternate universe to mainline Spider-Man, so that makes sense.
Ready. Gran Turismo 7 with a campaign mode that was mentioned. That stood out to me. This is a wait and see since GT6 burned me pretty bad.
And what about GT Sport? Did you play that?
Well, that's what I'm referring to as GT6.
I thought there was an actual Gran Turismo 6.
No, they called it GT Sport. Because GT5 was on the PS3, and then GT Sport was PS4, which is 6.
I have to look into this.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played a Gran Turismo since the second one.
It's been a hot minute, eh?
And I was actually thinking about playing one the other day. I was like, I should probably see what it's up to these days.
GT Sport, I mean...
Aha! There is a Gran Turismo 6. Suck my dick.
Oh, they did come out with one later.
I knew I was right. Point for Kevin. Going to my ego.
Point for Kevin, yeah. Both burned me pretty bad then. Especially, yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely a wait and see on GT7. I got burned pretty bad. So, not a full game was on release. The VR was very underwhelming when it first came out. Yeah. It's a racing game. They always come out on new console releases. So.
Because look at all the polygons in our wheels, bro.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they're great for showing off the technology of the new console. Always has been, always will be. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Dimensions collapsing and a female Ratchet or something or another.
Game's already unplayable. There's no sexual pun in the title. I don't even want it.
Oh, I mean, Rift Apart, I mean, you could take that.
No, I need the sexual innuendo. Like, they could have gone a little better with that.
Hey, the original game didn't have an innuendo in its title, so your argument is invalid.
Ratchet and Clank, nuts and butts. That's what I'll call it now.
Dr. Nefarious is back, it seems. Thought the weapons look cool. The dimensions in and out looks like a very neat new mechanic. This is an immediate buy for me, guys.
Cool.
I do like Ratchet and Clank games.
Yeah, I need to play more of them. I'll get to it eventually. Definitely something I'm going to play.
It's one of my favorite series.
Yeah,
where's Sly Cooper, though?
Yeah, I want to know where Sly Cooper is too.
Busy being made Spider-Man instead.
Okay, so Sly Cooper is the new Prince of Persia, confirmed.
Wait, no,
Got it.
Sly Cooper Studio is... Who is that again?
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch, yeah.
Sucker Punch and Insomniac are like the same thing to me.
God,
never remember who's
I
what.
mix them up a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I can never remember who's who.
What was the game Sucker Punch just came out and did? Or doing? Anyways. Square Enix Project Athia. A woman with tree powers fighting dragons, third-person action adventure. Looks interesting, but it's Square Enix bullshit where they throw a fancy title on there and we won't see it for 5 years.
Sounds about right.
Yep, it sounds par for the course.
So, well, yeah, you can get hyped and then forget about it, as usual. There's a game called Stray. It's a world of robots with a cat. So, indie game.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of... Then they showed off a bunch of cool visuals featuring the ray tracing, solid state drive, the quirks of the controller, which someone actually zoomed in on the controller, and the grips have the molding of the X circle triangle on the grips.
I mean, that's nifty. How good does it feel in my hands, though?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out someday.
And
then we got Returnal.
That looks cool.
Yeah, a game seemingly about a woman crashing on an alien planet, and each time she dies, the planet changes a bit after she Groundhog Days it up. So it could be a
Sounds like a
third-person...
roguelike?
That's what I was thinking. It could be a third-person action-adventure roguelike. This game looks absolutely slick and weird. I'm very much into this. Who knows when it will come out, but it's on my anticipated list immediately.
And it looks like it might have that Hellblade mechanic where dying causes some kind of infection in your body to advance further, and then if you die a certain number of times, the game deletes itself or something like that.
Something along that line, yeah. It looks very cool. It reminds me a lot of an Alien type game, H.R. Geiger's shit. So
I'm interested because it seems like a roguelike. So I like roguelikes.
It would be wild if they come up with a 3D roguelike game.
I mean, that's what it says on Wikipedia that it's roguelike.
Oh, really? It confirmed it? Because that's what it came off as. I'm just going by what the trailer
I mean, their Wikipedia page is all of like 3 sentences, so don't know how legit it is.
Okay.
But
no, everything on Wikipedia and the internet is true, Joey.
So then it's a roguelike.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln said that.
He did.
No. I'm pretty sure it was Albert Einstein.
I'll look it up on MySpace soon.
Kevin, you're a roguelike fan. Would you be into a 3D roguelike?
Maybe. There's some genres that I feel like just work better in 2D, like Metroidvanias and stuff.
Metroid Prime is a Metroidvania.
I haven't played a Metroid Prime, but like you could almost call Prey a Metroidvania. Almost.
PlayStation.com does call it a roguelike.
I'm not going to say no.
Okay.
You could also almost call Batman Arkham Asylum Metroidvania.
You could, yes.
Oh, you could, yeah.
It kind of told you where to go, so maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'll try it. You know, once anything hits that $20 price point, that's like okay, I'll try this game. And then below $10 is fuck it, might as well try it. Why not?
Yeah.
Like 20 is like, all right, I am considering this. So, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll buy it for 60.
No.
Sackboy, A Big Adventure, 2.5-ish D platformer. Looks cute
Sure.
and fun. Could be into it. Platformer.
Why not?
Why not, right?
He needs to come back.
Everyone needs their Sackboy to come back.
I miss my sack. Boy, do I miss my sack. This is the wrong episode for that.
Yeah. This makes sense why they wouldn't come out with another Little Big Planet, considering Dreams just came out.
How is Dreams doing in sales? Random question.
I have not looked into that.
I feel like it's like it came out and was like, yep, that happened.
It definitely needs. It will definitely need an update for the PS5 to stay relevant.
Somebody put out an idea that they should just package that in with a PS5 and go, look at all the unlimited games you could play on our system.
I mean, if Dreams is backwards compatible, as hopefully it is, I mean, there's your in right there.
Oh, did they ever officially say anything about backwards compatibility yet?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
But like officially, I feel like we've just seen
Yes,
articles from
officially.
like, okay, only 4, right?
Correct.
Bullshit.
Why?
But fine. I don't know. I want everything.
Destruction All-Stars. Destruction Roller Derby. I expect this to be an online multiplayer game in the realm of Rocket League.
Goodbye, Twisted Metal, then.
I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? I mean, Twisted
Yeah,
Metal's
but-
been gone since the PS3 anyways, so...
I know, but
They need to bring it back.
Yeah, with not bad controls.
Yeah, do a Rocket League version of Twisted Metal.
Honestly, it seems so simple. Why not?
So who knows if
Can dig
Destruction
that.
All-Stars will take off or not. It's not my bag. Not my bag. Kenna Bridge of Spirits. I'm getting Beyond Good and Evil vibes on this one, guys. Young female protagonist adventure with a spear and projectile type weapon. This looks fun. I'm keeping an eye
Sounds
on this
like
one.
Horizon more than Beyond Good and Evil.
Well, I mean, it's a cartoony type thing like Beyond Good and Evil was.
Fair.
Colin, you got your eyes on this one?
Yeah, more or less. So I'll wait. I'm doing a wait and see approach with basically everything because I'm not planning to buy a PS5 day one.
I'm getting PS5 day one. No questions
I'm
asked.
poor. What can I say?
Well, you
Yeah,
gotta save up a year and a half in advance, like I did.
Just go sugar mama an old lady, and then she'll just buy it for you.
God
It's simple.
damn it, Kevin's got all the answers.
I'm just saying. It's been there the whole time.
Yeah. Well, my little approach has been the Metacritic scores. What I do. So
Yes.
yeah, if universal reviews and user reviews come out and it gets universally praised above a certain score, and I like what I read and reviews, that's when I'll get a game. Unless I'm super sure the game's gonna be like Last of Us 2 level, then I'll get that day one.
Can you imagine if Last of Us just comes out and it's just a giant loading screen that says "fuck you"? Ha 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 ha.
10 out of 10, everyone trolled.
No wonder Polygon got so pissed.
Ah, Polygon should love this game.
Goodbye, Volcano High. Some animal teenage angst story game, it looks like.
Yeah, this game's got already a issue, big issue going with it. I don't know if you heard about the lead, I think, director.
What, he had
What did he
Dojinshi?
do?
The lead director is somebody who liked to publish a lot of underage drawings in a certain manner on Kotaku. So everyone who was like, why is this person leading this game? So can't wait to see how fucked up that is. Anyway,
I mean, there's a whole culture in the East about just fictional drawings.
yeah, no, this is realistic imagery. So anyway,
Oh boy.
Pictures.
yeah, I'll find the article. Hold on.
Anyways. Oddworld
Yep.
Soulstorm. Gimme now. This looks real fun and crazy. It's another Oddworld game. I can't wait.
That looks cool.
Let's see.
This game looks absolutely so much fun. It's a modern day Oddworld. I can't wait for this. This is an immediate buy. We know what to expect with Oddworld.
What was the name of that high school game again?
It doesn't matter, Kevin. Let's move on.
Nope. Looking into
Goodbye.
it on them.
Goodbye, Volcano
None of us are going to buy
High.
that game anyway, so who gives a shit?
Okay, I'm doing it for the research.
'Cause it looks a lot like Night in the Woods to me.
Goodbye, Volcano High. Da, 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 da. Of course, now I can't find anything.
Look, it's a dude who had Dojinshi. Take that for what it's worth. Whatever your opinion on it is.
I don't know what that even means, so sure.
It's fictional drawings. Do whatever you want with them. It's huge in Japan.
Sure.
Okay. Oddworld. Joey? Kevin? Yes, no? Thumbs
I
up?
don't know. I've never really been super into Oddworld, so I can't really
Yeah,
comment.
me either. I have.
So, not your bag. All right, fair enough.
They look boring to me, but I also haven't given one more time than like 20 minutes when I was like 6 or
For the
anything
podcast.
we've ever. Yeah, I was getting there when I had to demo it. Like,
Yeah.
geez.
It's,
just not-
it's a puzzle story game.
Yeah, too
If you're not
slow-paced.
into comedy puzzles, then probably it's not for you.
I need explosions, but I'm willing to try it, like most things.
Ghostwire
That
Tokyo.
trailer had plenty of explosions.
Yeah, it had a lot.
Oh, well.
Had
To be fair,
saw
I
blades
also didn't-
taking out like hordes of of your alien buddies.
To be fair, like with most reveal events, I don't watch them. I kind of get recaps from everybody, and then I go, got it. So I didn't see the trailer.
Ghostwire Tokyo. A lot of people are kind of upset about this. It is a first-person action horror game with seemingly telepathic type powers. A lot of people wanted a kind of spooky, sneaky horror game instead of an action one. I'm for either. This looks interesting. I'm keep my eye on it.
Tell those nerds too bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad.
Jet the Far Shore. Oh, go on, Colin.
It is possible to make a game scary even when you're armed to the teeth. I mean, just look at Descent. Just look at Half-Life.
Fear.
Oh.
Fear was not scary.
I was kind of scared the first couple times.
I was trying so hard to be
After
scary,
like the second hour of that game, I was like, okay, Alma, I see you. Like, no.
There were moments Prey was kind of scary. Had its moments.
Jump scares aren't fair. Like, anyone could jump scare me anytime, and I'll go,
and it's spooky scary, and it's
not
jump scary
spooky,
way.
it just makes you want to punch you in the face.
Jet the Far Shore. No idea. I didn't get anything from the trailer. Holiday 2020. That's not a good look for Jet the Far Shore. Gearbox coming out with the game Godfall. Holiday 2020.
Godfall looks good.
Yeah, looter-based action fighting game. Armor, weapons. You know the drill.
I might get it on the PC.
I'm in. Sounds like Borderlands with Melee.
It looks nice, and it's on the whatchamacallit engine. I can't remember. The new one that just
Unreal 5.
Yes, the new one.
The new one. The one with all the triangles.
New game engine from Nintendo.
The triangle engine.
Yep. So it looks good. I might get it on the PC.
Okay. Solar Ash by the Hyper Light Drifter people. Action indie type game. Could be fun. Hitman 3. January 2021. This is why I kind of got the urge I should probably play Hitman 2 now. This looks damn cool. Hopefully not episodic like Hitman Reboot 1.
Wasn't 2 episodic?
No.
All right.
Yeah. So you could flip a coin to see what what direction they could go with. It looks like it could be like Hitman 2. Hopefully it actually releases with hype this time and people buy it.
They should create an open world Hitman where you can just pick up contracts from different people.
That is the new Hitman series, Joey.
Is it though?
Yeah.
I remember Absolution also did that for like online. You can like go in the levels and decide who you want to get killed and how.
Yep. Then we got a tease for the opening PlayStation screen and that tonal sound. So, hype for that. Cool.
That's a sound, all right.
Astrobot is back. Astrobot Playground, confirmed to be a packing game that comes in with your PS5 at launch. Digital will be on it. Described as a game that will show off the DualSense controller. So,
hooray!
You know, automatically get something to screw around with.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Cool.
Little Devil Inside, a goofy, cartoony adventure game, but they also featured an old man doing old man things. So I don't know what to make of this one, but I definitely laughed.
Don't even know what that means, but I'm kind of freaked out by what you just said.
So this one stands out because you have this like crazy adventure-looking cartoon character, and he's going around, he's fighting dragons. He's climbing a rope. He drops a bomb from the rope into this big creature's mouth, like Sarlacc style. And then right before the bomb gets into the mouth, it cuts to the old man pooping, dropping a bomb of his own.
Oh, great.
Yeah. But it keeps doing things like that, where it cuts to big, crazy action adventure scene that cuts to this old man, like pushing a rubber ducky in his bathtub. So, a really, really fun trailer. This is probably my favorite trailer of the entire conference, just because it's very memorable and really wants you to pay attention to what this game was. It's an indie title that gets a good thumbs up from me there. NBA 2K21, I skipped immediately through this.
Slot machines, boo!
Yeah.
Or no shown. No shown slot machines.
Yeah.
Bug Snacks. Hard pass for me. Comedy, cartoon, indie, whatever game.
It's like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs too.
Yeah. Demon Souls Remastered, Kevin's favorite game immediately on new generation consoles. But what do you think, Colin and Joey?
I actually like Demon Souls, right?
Do you?
It's the only Souls game I like.
Why?
Because it's not designed like shit. I like the hub world of like, here's an area, pick one of those levels, go that way. My objective is clear. Beat this area.
That's what they all are.
No, Dark Souls is, here's the thing, ring 2 bells. Where are they? I don't fucking know. Eat my dick, dude. I don't want to talk to you. Like,
everything's a fork in the road and ends with the thing.
Demon Souls has a hub world of go to these places and beat their bosses. You did it. Good job.
Oh, I see what you're talking about now.
Yes.
Okay.
Dark Souls is designed like shit. Go on.
I guess we'll find out if I'm torn if I want to get the remastered version.
No, I'm not.
Because I have the PS3 version and I really like it. I don't really see why it needs to be remastered, other than big looking new skin.
Well, people
maybe they also need to like make new, bigger servers so that people can have more of an online experience, because that seems fairly integral to everything.
Well, remember, like, people don't keep their old systems like us too. Like most people, when the new system comes out, they go, "Done with this." You know, we're kind of the.
You're right. Most people
ones.
are crazy. We are not the crazy ones. There's no possible way. All right, let's keep talking about retro games. Deathloop, 3D Katana Zero is what I took from this. Game loops if die to repeat until passing a section. Whoa, kitty cat.
My favorite game. Hello, kitty cat. That sounds wonderful.
Deathloop, hello, kitty cat. The next trailer took me by surprise. Village, aka Resident Evil Village. They had the VIII in the Village title. So total shock and swerve with what looked to be a vampire werewolf type game.
Cool.
If we're going by history, this could be an early 2021 release.
The umbrella logo on one of the artifacts tipped me off.
Oh, I didn't see that. Ah, dang. Well, maybe that worked out, because then I was very shocked and surprised that it was Resident Evil. I'm down. This looks awesome. Capcom is really... ever since Capcom fucked up Street Fighter V so hard with me, they've really done everything they can to put me back in their good graces.
I honestly am a little worried that they can't keep this momentum going forever, though.
Well,
they kind of do this in waves of like, we're doing really good, and then they go, how do we fuck it up royally? Quick. We've been doing too well.
I guess RE3 Remake was kind of their little step back.
But people still were like into it. I'm waiting for like the Dead Rising like 3 debacle of like, all right, before the fall, if you will. Am I right? Okay. Yeah.
Pragmata. Forget who. A big time developer made this game, but I didn't write it down. I can't remember now. But it's some weird sci-fi adventure game. Could be quite interesting, or like Death Stranding. So
it's Capcom.
Is this another Capcom game? Pragmata?
Pragmata for PS5 is a bizarre Capcom game.
Ah, okay. All right. I didn't know Capcom made too.
Is that the one with the guy in the astronaut suit and the little girl with the blue dress?
Yes.
Spaceman and a mysterious girl.
Totally not Death Stranding, but could be.
It's Death Stranding without all the difficult walking.
It's a Strand game in space now.
Death spacing. Whoa.
But unfortunately, 2022, so don't even worry about it. And then Horizon 2 for Forbidden West.
That
Infection.
looks cool.
Oh, it looks awesome. Infection shitstorm to different crazy locations. Immediate buy for me. Just no questions asked. This to me is a day one release buy.
It looks like there'll be some underwater exploration in addition, and the scale looks a lot bigger than before, which is already pretty huge.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
So I'm interested to see where it goes. I mean, it's like they're gonna have a whole slew of new mechs. Like at the very end, you see like I don't know if you'd call it just like an elephant or a mastodon, but something like that. One of those in robot form Reminded me of like the battle for Minas Tirith in Lord of the Rings with the giant Oliphants.
Right.
You gotta pull a Legolas and take those things down one at a time.
Yeah. So 13 exclusives here, minimum was my count at the presentation, being either from PlayStation Studio or it's an exclusive release, which isn't bad. That's very good. PlayStation made it very clear that they are going full force with the action adventure type games, and we got a lot of them here. And we already talked about the console itself. No price reveal. I think that was expected. I think many wanted one, but this is a general marketing standpoint of get people hyped for the device and don't get caught up with the price yet. So
no, they're playing chicken with Xbox.
I mean, you could definitely see that. Like, you don't want to be the first one because then your competitor will just kind of slightly lower their price or whatever.
$299, best moment.
$298.
No, that from the Saturn reveal. Did you ever see that?
I don't remember, but
all right, no, this is worth it. Worth it. So
okay.
When Saturn was getting revealed at E3, Sega went on, did that whole shadow drop, and it's out today thing that pissed everybody off,
right?
Like even retailers. And Sony followed up Sega at the podium, and literally the guy just went $299, and that was his whole speech. That was it. Nailed it.
Nailed it. And play has no limits. They did that like after every single game.
Nice.
Gotta get that tagline in. So, top 3 games that you're most interested in.
Horizon, Resident Evil Village, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Ratchet and Clank.
All right. Colin?
Eternal, Horizon 2, and I guess Oddworld. I mean, Deathloop looks kind of cool, but with Bethesda's name being on it, that
yeah, you're very hesitant.
Oh, wait. Is it Arcane or is it Bethesda first party? This is important.
Bethesda Studios.
Okay.
I think Arcane is the devs, but I think Bethesda also publishes it. But after what happened with Doom Eternal, I'm hesitant.
What was wrong with Doom Eternal?
Well, there was like a whole debacle involving DRM on the PC version, and then Mick
PC
Gordon
gaming fails again.
Mick Gordon left id Software after a bit of a debacle with his soundtrack, and
that doesn't bother me.
Dude, I fucking love Mick Gordon's soundtrack.
As long as the game's good, I don't really care. But each his own.
Joey.
Godfall, Spider-Man, Returnal, Ratchet and Clank. Those I like.
Horizon 2, Ratchet and Clank, and Returnal from me. Kenna Bridge of Spirits is definitely number 4. So very much hyped. I put a collage up on Twitter and Instagram of like all the games that stood out to me. It was really cool. This to me, this conference knocked it out of the park. It got a lot of hype for the PS5. Showed off a lot of the actual gameplay, which I think was very important. It didn't look like a Zoom meeting in theirs, so I give the conference a thumbs up. But you guys,
overall thumbs up.
I mean, I got all my information secondhand, so sick.
All right. So with that, play the drop, and we can move right along. Gotta play Crash Bandicoot, right?
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Just right fast, because I quite enjoy this little section that we do. Retro Magazine Review. Take a past game we covered on the podcast and get a little update on the little magazine review that it came with. This one comes from episode 5. On that. the first-person shooter episode, and being that I just beat a Duke Nukem game, Land of the Babes, go listen to that episode. This is Duke Nukem 64, released October 1997. The Nintendo Power issue 102 from November 97. It was in both the strategy section and the We Are Playing section, so you got a nice little double dose of Duke 64. One of the first things you notice before they get into the strategy section is the quote, "Duke Nukem 64 won't win any awards for being politically correct." Really stood out to me. I posted that immediately and tagged you, Kevin.
Some would call Duke Nukem the most progressive game, but whatever.
Back in 1997, they were throwing that word out there. So the issues describes the differences and adds from the computer release to this port, maps out 3 of the toughest levels, and if you have forgotten which ones those were, Abyss, Warp Factor, and the Tiberius section. Tiberius was where I got stuck. So yeah, this was a real tubular read, one might say.
Hey, you gotta never say that. You gotta never say that again.
Well, hey, if it jives with me, it'll jive.
Also, jive. Also, another word. Just don't.
Come on, juke with me.
Look at the square here.
This is not very cash money of you.
So this is when Nintendo Power, at least this is around that time where they changed up their rating system a bit, and they started using a 10 scale as opposed to their 5 that they were doing. So they ended up giving this a 6.4 out of 10. 64 out of 100 for those that can maths like Scott Steiner.
Whoa, they gave Duke Nukem 64.
I know, I found that funny.
64? What? Crazy.
But it was weird. They went mostly all positive, besides saying the control setup isn't ideal, and saying the graphics are its weakest link. So you would probably agree with that, Kevin. A 64 having weak graphics?
No game on the 64 has good controls or graphics, so silly thing to write.
Yeah. So it just seemed really strange after reading all of this mostly positive stuff, and they just go, yeah, low to mid-6s, whatever. It really came across as one of those modern-day reviews. Yeah. And then the Game Pro issue, number 111, December 97, so full 2 months after release. I ended up getting real caught up reading a lot of this issue. There was an interview of WCW wrestlers covering the Nitro game. Found out in that interview that the Giant, aka the Big Show, one people might know him better as at this point, he was playing Panzer Dragoon at the time and was a real big Arnold Palmer golf fan.
As I would expect the Big Show to be, yes.
Right? They also asked him, do you think video games and violence are connected? Of course, they all said no. Also saw this there was 2 advertisements that were just really strange. There was a peripheral called the Scuba, which is like a VR headgear that looked absolutely massive and heavy, and it looked like a scuba mask, hence the name. It's compatible with your PlayStation, Saturn, and N64, and it's by Philips Magnavox. Now, if you look in the notes here, I did post this on my Twitter, and I put the link there. You can check this sucker out. You guys want to take a look at it real quick?
I remember seeing one of those in the game store as well, as long as the other thing that I think you're going to speak about.
Yeah, so the scuba mask, I'm like, I can't imagine wearing that. And then I go, wait, I have a VR. I can totally imagine wearing that. Yeah.
Do you remember when you were told as a kid not to sit so close to the screen because you'll go blind?
Yeah, it's like, well, how about I defy them and wear this scuba thing?
I can only imagine the first person to ever make it like a modern VR helmet was like, I'm not going to listen to my stupid mom. I'm going to play games so close to my eyes.
Yeah. Oh, God. Then later, in this same issue, there's an advertisement for the video game control glove for the PlayStation console.
That is definitely an original idea and was never used before, ever.
PlayStation had a freaking power glove.
It is a control glove. And also, it had an N64 counterpart.
Well, I only saw the PlayStation advertisement, so
I can confirm there is.
Look, this control glove had motion sensing technology in the wrist. Optional Y-axis layout. I died looking at this thing and looked over this advertisement. I looked up a YouTube video of someone trying to make this thing work. Oh, it's glorious.
Probably really good for your bowling hand.
Oh yeah, let's ruin that.
Probably fine.
It is exactly how you can envision this thing working.
Yeah, it goes under your fingers too, so you really got to move your wrist.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm looking at
this
the
thing.
I'm looking at the Scuba Magnavox thing, and I actually remember seeing an ad for this in the PC Gamer magazine. It looked kind of cool at the time, but yeah, looking back on it now, it looks just plain silly. It's just huge.
As most things with the 90s do.
Joey, have you seen this control glove?
No.
Well, it's a good thing I put a link to my Twitter where I posted this thing.
Wow, way to self-promote on your own podcast. And
yeah, Bowling JD, go check it out.
No.
Take that.
Same. Anyways, Duke Nukem got straight 4s in categories out of 5, 80 out of 100. Much better and concise review explaining their score reasonings. I like this one. So GamePro continues to be a very good magazine review. The reviewer was disappointed in the watered down, aka censored version from the PC. So basically, without all that, what's the point of Duke 64 when you've already played other, first-person shooter games?
Duke is the reason.
Right. So if you censor him, why bother? Right.
Because
hard to argue that point, really.
Reasons. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Looks like someone made a glove for the PS4.
Why?
Really? Please post this.
Why?
I need to see this.
I don't want to. Is it just the stupid motion controllers with a glove on it? Because that'd somehow be better, actually.
Okay, I think he got it to work on the PS4. I don't know. He might have modded it.
This, maybe we're all being punished. You ever think about that? This year's been so crazy. Maybe guys like this are the reason.
Someday, someone will get the Power Glove right.
I
couldn't find an EGM review, so oh well. All right, I'll play the Contra drop. On to our games finally! Hooray!
Yay! Oh wait, I picked these. Yay!
Oh.
Yay!
Making my notes. All right, Kevin, what is the theme? Why did you pick it? And then go on to our first one.
Oh, let me get my notes up because I have them under a window. So the theme of this is, as we said before, living long enough to die a hero instead of becoming the villain, whatever the phrase is. Anyway, all series go through a phase where they're good, they're great, and then they just get real bad. I can't think of a single... Yes, I can. Uncharted.
Or they get super mediocre.
Yeah. Just shut up. Don't insult Uncharted like that. My mic fell. That's a good start. So, yeah, it's just like every series, especially when they got from 2D to 3D, really seems to be the dropping off point, as will... well, it kind of fits. Anyway, point is, it's the peak. That made a lot of sense, right? Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
It's the peak of games. So, for example...
More or less.
We all... More or less. So we all love Crash Bandicoot, right?
Sure.
You all say yes. This is the point where you say yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
sure.
Good. Very good. Thanks, guys. So, first game we're going to be covering is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped on the PlayStation 1. It only runs around $8.
Not according to my notes, but okay.
What? You have 8 right here.
What?
Is it 8? Did you put 18? I deleted it somehow. Whatever.
According to his note, he had your other game first. Don't listen to JD. Do your own thing. It's yours.
Oh, shit. Contra's first. I scrolled down too far. I can't do notes. Anyway, Contra 3, the Alien Wars for the Super Nintendo. Some would say the last good Contra game.
Some might say that, yeah.
I can't remember if Hardcore came out before or after this. But Hardcore has its own issues. It's still a good game. Developed and published, but yeah, it's Hardcore, so idiot. Released on February 20th, 1992. The game only clocks in around about an hour and a half. Well, I don't know why you wrote bullshit. It's a fucking arcade game, you idiot.
I call bullshit because you play it much longer than that.
Well, have you tried doing what all the Dark Souls fans say and get better? I mean,
it's fucking hard.
Well, do better. That's the phrase.
Get good.
No, yeah, I know what I said. Point is, you're going to be playing this an hour and a half longer than that because you're going to die. You're going to die. I think this is the best 2D Contra. Other than I think there was like a reboot one, but who cares about that? The only thing that does suck that I agree with your notes here is that I do hate the overhead levels. Using the shoulder buttons to rotate the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Minus that, all the 2D platforming stages in this game are great. The first level throws everything at you. You have to learn how to climb, how to navigate that, and if you don't, you die because it's Contra. But all the weapons feel good. The explosions feel good. Giant turtles feel good.
What is that with the giant turtle?
It's a giant turtle. It's just here to fuck your day up.
Yeah, don't worry about the giant turtle. He's got big weapons on it. It's a giant turtle.
Yeah.
That shoots out like armadillos?
Sure, yeah, why not?
Yeah. Call them whatever you want. It's
the alien wars don't mess around. They gotta mutate these turtles and combine animals, do crazy things.
Yes,
I can't explain what aliens do.
So again, this has 2 weapon slots, which I feel like Contra really, really needed. Also a big point in this game, so you can carry your spread gun and your machine gun, because those are the only guns that matter. But there's so many enemies. Hardcore has the wolf character. I almost said a bad thing. But there's a whole lot. The first boss is even a callback to the first Contra, enemy. You can't really call it a reboot. That's not really fair. But I don't know. This game is like the perfect Contra game, and man, it didn't peak right here. They use a lot of Mode 7, a lot of graphics, a lot of graphics. Is that a phrase people use?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. There's so many graphics. There's so many graphics, guys. But no, this game is just perfect 2D co-op fun that isn't Gunstar Heroes. I love this game.
You said you didn't like the overhead levels. I actually like level 2. I thought it was a lot of fun.
See, that's like the only downfall I have. I appreciate what they were going for in the Super Nintendo. Like, look, man, Mode 7. Everyone's like, yeah, but no, though.
It was a little annoying getting first to use L and R to turn, but you can press them down at the same time and spin and shoot in circles. I thought that was fun.
That is kind of fun. I won't lie.
So at first I didn't pay attention to what the objectives was, so it's just running around killing everything.
Well, it gives you a clear indicator of like a giant arrow telling you, go this way, idiot.
But sometimes there's 2 of them. If there's 2 objectives, I'm like, wait, which way am I going? I didn't pay attention. I had to kill like all these different things.
You go left and right at the same time, obviously. I don't know why this is so hard. But yeah, it was a short little thing to break up the action, and they didn't overstay their welcome, so I don't hate it. That being said, it's Contra. You're going to die. It's get better, do better.
Konami Code helped.
Konami Code does help, but who plays with cheats and guides? Not me.
Yeah,
give us your quarters, kid.
Never do such a thing.
Give us your gamer card, bro. You don't need that. But no, I think this is the best. I think it's the best Contra game. I'm gonna go with that.
I was gravitating towards the spread and the laser weapon myself. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, the laser was pretty useful.
I like the homing missiles.
I don't think I ever got the homing. I like the spread one.
So, I hated the overhead levels beyond my ability to get past rage quitting. Level 2 took me ages until I figured out if I get the laser, that'll make things a lot easier. I'm pretty sure it took me like 2 hours just to get past it. I don't know why I was having so much issue with it. It took me ages definitely to figure out I had to use the shoulder buttons the way
it took me forever to get past level 1, and then I breezed through level 2.
We're the opposite. But as
you guys play together or something.
Yeah. But as for level 5, that is the second overhead level. That is where I got totally stuck in the game. I went through multiple continues, even with using the Konami Code. I could not get past this level. It's the second to last stage in the game. You are spinning. There's shit coming from you off screen too often. This level absolutely blows. It really reminded me of level 20 in Zombie Ate My Neighbors, where it was just full of bullshit. the entire time. And if I had a Game Shark, this is where it would come in, because I was absolutely furious, and I just did not enjoy this. Did you guys even get to level 5?
Yeah, it was great.
I got to 3.
Yeah, I got the 3 as well.
I don't know if you know this, but it's like an arcade game, so you're not really supposed to beat it. It's just meant to like have fun, turn it on, and like not really take it too seriously.
Well, I wanted to get to the aliens, and I wanted to go to war with them. And I was
Joke's
going
on you,
to
everyone's
war
an alien.
with the controls and the stupid overhead screen the entire
What
time.
control problems? Boo. No control problems. The game controls like butter.
No,
with, like,
see, on level 5 in that desert, you have things that spin you in the desert, because it's, I guess, quicksand type shit, and you have no control over your character, or not easily, anyways, and there's shit flying at you from all directions. It's like Metal Slug, except you have 0 control and you don't have infinite continues. It's garbage. I
No.
absolutely rage quit by the end of that.
So you're bad. Got it. Hey, look, I'm a Dark Souls fan. No, but I
Just me
understand.
rolling my eyes.
Honestly, look, the game's fun. It's an arcade game. I don't expect to beat it. I expect to turn it on, have fun with a couple levels, play it with my buddies, go, that was great. And that's it.
Now, don't get me wrong. The 2D levels are fucking awesome. I absolutely love them. You just all you have to do is find out. It's just like Metal Slug. Find out the quips and quirks to dodge and when an enemy is coming. They give you just enough time, kind of like a beat 'em up, where the enemy comes on screen. You have enough time to shoot them. It really relies on quick responses, but not so quick where it's inhuman. Each you can definitely find. I can see a different player finding their own fun in each weapon to their advantage, like you guys with the homing or me with the laser.
Freaking laser.
All the graphics are very cool with a lot of the the fire and lava explosions going on. I absolutely love the addition of the nuke bomb thing. Because then you can come up with different strategies on when it's appropriate to use that. If you get stuck on a section, you can just immediately use that thing. Which, by the way, the boss on level 5 is where I specifically got stuck. It is absolute horseshit. So level 5 is what kind of broke the game from me. Because level 2, at least I could be like, okay, I'm not feeling it, but I've played other Contra games with this overhead level. If it happens just this one time, I could live with it, right? The second time, I just could not live with it. Maybe if it wasn't so ridiculously over the top and tough and unfair, ended up beating the game, but I just couldn't. The level 3 was definitely my favorite. I think that's the one with the explosion buildings, and you gotta go on the railing and avoid the fire coming up and down from at you.
That's level 3.
Love level 3. That is so much fun.
I thought it was okay.
I can only imagine playing this co-op and kind of going, your friend's going ahead of you and he kind of pushes you off the screen at the end.
The joys of being the little brother.
Yeah, right. What'd you think, Colin?
2, I like you guys found it really fun, at least as fun as Metal Slug. I like being able to carry 2 weapons instead of just one.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I haven't played Contra 2, so I don't know if that's a thing in there.
Nope.
No, it's not.
But,
I think this is the first one where you have multiple weapons.
Yeah, the graphics and visuals are really good, and I actually don't hate the top-down segments. It's like, I mean, they're not the best part of the game, but I actually had some fun with them, although the boss fight of each one of those is really annoying. Because 1, it's the same one each time, and 2, it just takes your lives away so easily. It's just in the butt.
And for me, it felt like you had to be lucky that he landed facing you so you could shoot him. Because there's a lot of times he faced the other way, and I just couldn't shoot his little red eye, and I'm like, come on. So the fight took longer than it should have.
Yeah, overall I really enjoyed the game, even though I only got to level 3. I think I was just busy with the other games more than anything.
I found the Nintendo Power issue that this was in. It was in issue 36 from May 92. So, a few months after release. Found interesting. This issue of Nintendo Power was amazing. Had multiple comic stories over Zelda and Mario, which were really fun. I think you would like this, Kevin.
Yes.
It had in-depth level guides to some of the games we've covered on the podcast, which, of course, I ended up reading way too much into it. It had Adventures of Lolo, so I'm like, oh, these are useful tips I'll have to use later. The Contra 3 section was actually very helpful for me getting past some sections of the game, especially Stage 2 and 4. We haven't even talked about Stage 4 at all, mostly because I guess only Colin and I got that far. You're kind of building hopping, and there's certain weapons that you need to get in order to assist you into making the rest of the stage easier, and Nintendo Power definitely helped in that part. Even like scaling a side of the building and using a nuke at the right time, because there's just so many enemies on one side of the screen that it's just not really conceivable to hit in time. So it's very helpful sections that help me. But no amount of help here, again, could get me past Stage 5. They just kind of mapped it all out, and they just kind of go, hopefully you can get it, hopefully you can do it. Graphics got a 4.3, so according to Nintendo Power, it didn't have all the graphics.
It had a lot of graphics, I believe I said.
Control 4.4, they were very adamant about not feeling the Mode 7 LNR twisting the controls on the top levels. Challenge was 4.3, which kind of low, because this feels like one of the tougher Contra games.
Out of 5?
Yeah.
That's fine. What do you want it to be?
I feel like it's at least 4.5 or higher.
Okay, we're going decimal places. Sure.
Absolutely. Hey, they are. Why not me?
Because fucking whatever, dude. That's
but
why.
The fun only got a 3.9.
Boo.
So maybe it was like me. They got to 5 and level 5, and they're like, "Fuck this."
Question: Was there a Nintendo first-party game also reviewed in this episode of the magazine? Trying to divert attention away from other games, possibly.
No, I don't.
Conspiracy
Something else
theory.
come out in February '92.
Like to the past, maybe.
February '92.
I have no idea. I'm just being a dick.
Anyways, 84.5 out of 100 is what this aggregates out to. So Nintendo Power gave it a pretty fair score, I would say. All right, so despite my absolute hatred and fury for Stage 5, I did really like Contra 3. I did my ever so best to try and beat this game. It wasn't meant to be. I think I played this for 4 hours in total. It gets a pass.
Hell yeah, it does.
I pass it too.
Yeah, I'm passing it.
Gets me hard and pass.
All right, now you can talk Crash 3.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Do it for me. Do it for Daddy.
No. Oh, that got weird. Okay. Crash Bandicoot 3 warped for the PlayStation with a price that I don't know now because I thought I was screwing it up. What was it? $8?
$8. Contra 3, for those wondering, goes for around $35 on average.
Oh, my bad. Unless you get the GBA port. Ooh.
I don't want it.
So anyway, the GBA port apparently doesn't have 2 weapon slots. Random fact. Anyway, so this game clocks in around 8 hours. It's kind of a weird...
Who made it, and when was it released?
Oh, God, I hate doing this part. It was made by Naughty Dog, published by Sony. October 30th. Oh, a Halloween game. October 31st, 1998. Very good shit. But the thing I do like about this Crash, if I can find my title screen, where is it? In my YouTube video. But you get to, like... I'll never find it now. You get a wide variety of levels here, so it's a little different than most Crash games, I feel, where... you kind of get to do a little bit of everything. They tried to vary up the gameplay a whole lot of this. That being said, I didn't get to beat it because I want to play Crash 2 first before I really dive into this for no reason whatsoever. Because, big story on Crash games. But
okay.
I'm just saying, they got to follow the lore. There's a lot of 2D, like the swimming levels, actually I didn't find annoying. The platforming is really good.
Only a couple of them.
I know, but I really like them, so there's that. I just feel like there's a lot of variety in this Crash game compared to the other, first one, and the second one I've really only dabbled in, but I feel like there's a whole lot of variety in this Crash game specifically, so it kind of kept my attention longer, especially having to get to pick the levels
Yeah, you could go in any order you wanted.
Yeah.
When you get to, so the game is divided into, what is it, six levels and a boss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
you get a themed section. It's divided into 6 levels and a boss, and you can take those 6 levels in any order you want. And the objective is to basically get the gem, which is in a level, which is basically at the end of each stage. Grab the gem, and that'll get you to move on. In the game, once you collect all the gems through the stages, then you can beat the boss, and that'll unlock the next themed area. And there's
It reminded me a lot of Gauntlet.
Don't say that.
how so?
Well, in that world where you have multiple levels per world that you have to beat, get certain things, then move on to the next.
Why would
Like
you? Why would you do
the
that?
hub world?
Don't
The hub
say
world
that about a good
reminded me
game.
of Gauntlet.
No, don't say
Nice.
that. Don't compare.
Interesting.
Don't compare these two.
Too bad. Compared. Done. Boom. Mark that down.
Wow.
So, Kevin, you said there was a lot of variety. I definitely see where you're coming from with that. What I wasn't crazy about is you have your theme, and if it wasn't, say, a vehicle stage, like in the water themed area, you were on the scuba jet thing. If it wasn't that vehicle stuff, I felt that every stage repeated itself. It all was very much the same, even the layouts, and all that changed was the aesthetic to it. So you have the Arabian levels, right? So the idea is you're building hopping, but you're not really doing much platforming in the end. And then later you're in, say, the an Egyptian pyramid, and it just feels like the exact same thing, just with a different coat of paint on it. I never felt like I was playing something completely different, or the stages were getting harder as I progressed through the game. Because this is the third one, right? So we have 1 and 2 to go by. Everything felt like there was one stage that stood out, and that was the one where the Triceratops is chasing after you.
Yep.
That one felt incredibly different from all the others because you were going, down the screen, like the rolling rock in Crash 1. Not to be confused with the beer, of course.
Sure.
But of course, like everything else with the game, when you got that theme, it had to do it more than once. And then it just felt like you were doing the same thing twice or 3 times.
Yeah, I could see it. It seems like they were kind of stretching it.
It was just something I was feeling and noticing throughout this. I'm not saying this is bad in any conceivable way. I'm just like, man, it just kind of felt like they ran out of ideas. And the whole, where they decided to kind of change it up is more vehicles with your character. So Coco rides the tiger, crashes on the motorbike. What's another one? You're on
T-Rex.
Coco's on the jet ski. That happens a few times. But all those levels that I mentioned are the same. They don't feel too different from each other. So you gotta do it multiple times, and you're just like, man, I'm doing this again. They don't feel harder either. I'm not feeling the progression, because I did beat this game. I didn't get all the gems and the time trials. I didn't do any of that, so I didn't get the quote unquote good ending. Did anybody else feel this way?
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I had a good time while doing it.
It was definitely an easy play. I just kind of picked it up each night, played 5 levels, and then I moved on. Then before I knew it, I was like, "Oh, I finished." That seemed really fast.
Yeah, it was relatively easy. I didn't play as much as you did, but I mean, I don't mind themes repeating themselves as long as the layout's different. It's not like you're playing the exact same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
I felt I was playing the exact same thing over and over again.
Maybe don't play it all at one time.
I didn't.
Play it all at one time then.
Then it would probably get worse.
Maybe. I don't know. I had a good time. I do see where you're coming from, but if something's still good the third time around versus the first time around, hey, I'm in.
I felt the controls were kind of game breaking in some way, especially the double jump.
I mean, double jump's the double jump. What do you mean?
So this is the Crash game that introduced the double jump.
Okay.
Because the second one introduced the power slide jump, where you can go super high. And this one added the double jump. So the idea was you can now you could reach different heights, taller structures. The game didn't really take advantage of introducing mechanics where mastering the double jump was necessary. If anything, I was like, oh, here's an enemy, and I have to, instead of timing to beat the enemy, I can just now double jump over the gap instead. I can just bypass the enemy. So the difficulty level of the game it didn't get harder because the double jump was introduced. It was way easier, and it just feels like it should have been the opposite. The game progression difficult because of the double jump.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it flowed, but I suppose I was so used to platformers having double jumps, so I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I think my nostalgia glasses were definitely cleared up a lot playing this one, because I had my memory of Crash 3 is always like, man, I think that's my favorite, and I think after playing this for the podcast, I'm like, I think it's my least favorite out of the three now.
Boo.
Yeah. Colin, you've been quiet on Crash 3. Crash 3 warped, because that's how it's always warped.
Jeez, aggression.
Well, that's what it does. It's got the whole 90s leather jacket. You got to yell everything. Radical, warped. Come on,
You
Colin.
gotta put Z's where S's are.
Well, this is my first time properly playing a Crash Bandicoot game, so that for what it means, for what you will. I mean, after beating the first world, I can see why the series is so well loved. I mean, very fun and frantic, though sometimes frustrating. And I have to agree with Kevin on as far as like the game progression is concerned and the variety on it. I mean, even though a lot of the styles repeat themselves, it never got stale for me.
Okay.
And there were a couple of unique levels. Like at one point, there's a full like World War I airplane style level where you got to shoot down zeppelins. I don't think I saw another level quite like that. And then
it repeats itself 2 more times.
It even went full Star Fox for the boss of the fourth world. You're just in a spaceship shooting a giant robot that's shooting at you.
That was cool. I really enjoyed the boss fights in this game. Each one was very unique and different from the other.
Yeah. One annoyance I had was that the opening credits before the menu are unskippable.
That's very true.
I mean, it's only like maybe 10 or 15 seconds, but still, it's annoying. And I don't have too much more to say about this one. I mean, it's pretty linear, although the platforming is suitably challenging. And the graphics and visuals are really good for the time, and it's got decent level design. And that's pretty much all I've got to say. I mean, I like this one, and I'll probably end up at some point getting the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy.
Yeah, I started out playing the original, and then I switched over to the remaster just to see how much different it would be, the Insane trilogy, and it's a new coat of paint. There wasn't a lot of the game controls that they needed to improve upon and change from unlike the first one. But I still felt the double jump had the same issues as the original, where it kind of felt like it didn't quite work sometimes. It just felt weird, where you have to get it on the apex of the jump. You can't just double jump once he's going down, or if you don't press it hard enough, he doesn't go up as high, so then you can't activate the double jump. It's a very strange double jump mechanic in this game, as you can't tell by my words.
Still not as bad as another game we're about to cover, but I'll talk about that when we get to it.
Yes, indeed.
Foreshadowing.
Joey, any final thoughts on Crash 3 Warped?
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
So GamePro issue 124 came out January 99, so a couple months after release. Got straight 5s across the boards, everybody. A perfect game, according to GamePro.
With no flaws whatsoever.
None.
Perfect. All right. S rank. Got
you
it.
feel like you're playing a cartoon. Most responsive crash controls yet.
All my cartoons look like triangles trying to bang each other, too.
Of course. This issue did tell me about hitting the yellow alien sign in one of the bike stages, where you get to a hidden stage where, for some reason, now you're Coco in a jet ski. So
don't ask questions.
Yeah, I did do that one at least.
In fact,
all the pro tips here were actually quite useful in the game. Secrets I probably would have never found. So review really reminded me of that Earthworm Jim review a lot. So it could be that same
Subscribe to
author.
GamePro. Got a sub. Subscribe to GamePro.
Yeah. Game Informer now.
No, never mind.
Basically. I'll still pass Crash 3. It was very enjoyable. It was easy to play. I didn't rage throughout it, unlike Contra 3.
Do better.
Goofy.
It's the phrase.
Yep. Pass this one.
I passed it as well.
My game. Shinobi 3 Return of the Ninja Master came out on the Sega Genesis, runs for about $20. I believe it's on all those compilation Sega things you can get.
The same compilation, they keep putting it out over and over.
Yes, indeed. Sega Master Collection or whatever, Sonic Genesis Collection, you name it. It's all there. Developed and published by Sega. Released in North America August 22nd, 93. Japan and the EU July 23 and 24 in 93. Game clocks in around 4.5 hours. Very easy. Was not able to beat this game. I really tried, but I got stuck on the second Ninja Surf mech battle. I don't know if you guys got that far.
What a sentence that was.
I know, right? It's awesome. This game is, by definition, Genesis does what Nintendo don't. This game was fucking awesome and fun to play. I think it's...
Actually beat it.
You beat it, Colin?
Save stating the shit out of it.
Oh, you save stated. Okay, all right. Fair enough.
He saw the ending. I don't know if he beat it.
Well, it's very forgiving, and there's almost a strategy to it. So the game starts you off with 9 lives, and you get 3 continues with those 9 lives. And one big strategy to it is, so there's a secret ninja technique that you can cycle through. There's a lightning shield that you can do. There's a ninja super jump thing that is very pertinent to one stage later. I didn't get to in this play session, but I have beaten this game before in my lifetime, but not this time around. After that second surf ninja battle, there's falling rocks, and you have to activate that super ninja jump in order to get through there. I remember that being super hard, but I didn't get to that point this time around. But then the pertinent one to know about is if you're about to die and you're on a boss fight, use the ninja kill yourself but also kill your enemy technique and make sure that
what?
Yeah, that exists.
About to die, just kill yourself.
Yes. So what it's like a sacrifice to the gods situation where you activate this thing. It's very simple. You just press A. Don't press it accidentally, which will happen. I guarantee it will happen at least once to you. And what it does is it sacrifices your life, so you lose a life, and it will do heavy damage to the boss. So can't stress that enough. It is a very, very useful tactic to continue through the game. But because you're given so many lives, you don't really feel too bad about it. It's like, well, I'm gonna die anyways. Let's take this fucker with me.
Destiny bond, eh?
Yeah. But the other mechanic that is this is where the learning curve comes in, and it's the double jump in this game.
Oh my god.
This one is very difficult to get a handle on. It definitely comes into play in later stages, such as you're in a factory of some kind. You gotta go on pipes and whatnot. There's platforms that you could just fall through into the water, which will give you an instant death situation. So how the jump works is kind of like what I was describing with Crash, but Crash had a little bit more leeway on it. This one, you will only be able to activate the double jump where he spins at the apex of his jump. And you could easily just miss it each and every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's especially bad when it's in an area where you need it, and then if it only works when you want it to, then that's why I needed to save state the shit out of it. The double jump only worked when it wanted to.
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially on the elevator stage. I'm sure that's where you save stated the crap out of the game, Colin. Where you're on that you're on the rising platform and you have to double jump in order to get to the pipe, and then as the stage is moving up, you got to go through a wall jump to double jump sequence in order to get further. And if you miss it one time, you fall to your death.
More like in level 6 when you're jumping up a series of falling rocks in a canyon, and occasionally there's a rock you need to double jump to in order to reach it because you can't do any wall jumping.
Right. Yeah, that stage I remember that stage being incredibly frustrating and difficult. You have to have the ninja master jump.
Yeah. And so many times the double jump just didn't work and I lost a lot of lives.
Yeah. Did you know about the ninja master jump?
No.
Yeah. So that will make that stage a hell of a lot easier because the double jump is so hard to master.
Yeah, I don't know how to switch between the ninja powers because...
Oh, it's simply you just press start. Just press start and go through and cycle through them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so used to the start button being a pause button.
Back in my day... Well, before
even back then, is everywhere, every single game ever except this one, apparently.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that way. So, the graphics in this game, you want to talk about all the graphics? You thought Contra 3 had all the graphics? This has all the graphics. This was, again, Genesis fucking does. It has parallaxing up the ass. I mean, there's layers upon layers upon layers. There's multiple times in different stages where you can see the boss that you're going to fight later in the background of the stage.
Onions have layers, yes.
Yes. Just like the giant fungus fight, the Mecha Godzilla that you'll fight, there you can see a bunch of them being made in the background and hanging out. Fucking awesome. The boss battles are super memorable in this one, whether it's what I just named or the giant mechs you're fighting while on a jet ski thing that you're surfing on.
Yeah, I really liked the boss fights in this one. Like you said, the Mecha Godzilla one was the most memorable.
I thought the fungus boss was the most memorable, but I really liked the Mecha Godzilla. He had laser titties.
Essential.
Laser titties are always essential. I don't care what game you're playing.
I don't even play games that don't have them.
Yeah, I mean, I dabble, see no laser titties, I'm out.
Yeah, no, it's beyond a necessity.
This has become over time one of my favorite Genesis games, just because of how amazing this looks. Besides the double jump, it controls very well. The double jump, I'm not sure why they made it the way they did. I don't know if it was supposed to make it a little bit harder, because if it wasn't that hard, you would breeze through the game faster. I'm not really sure what the idea was behind it. I'll say it right now, that if that double jump was easier, this would be an S tier game.
Absolutely. Agreed. Everything else was solid. I mean, like you said, graphics and visuals, fantastic. Gameplay, totally solid. I mean, I like that you can actually do the metal slug thing of doing a sword attack when you're right close to an enemy.
Oh yeah, you can double tap the run button. You can do a running slash to really take advantage of you knowing an enemy will come up, or he's got a bazooka or some kind. The jumping leap attack, kick, where you can kick shit. That was very useful. There's so many different game mechanics where you can take advantage of it and really feel like a ninja.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just the double jump really puts a damper on all of it, at least in the later levels.
Very tough. So, Joey, you've been quiet about this one. You played on your little
you've been
Sega
dinosaur.
Genesis collection?
I played a little bit of it. I thought it was all right.
Just all right?
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't think it was anything too special. Felt like a lot of the, at least because I guess I didn't play far enough into it. A lot of the times where you had to jump on the wall in the first level was kind of useless. Hey, jump over this big thing for no reason, and then you did like 2 or 3 times. There was like nothing added to it besides, hey, look what you can do. You can do this thing.
Look, back in 1993, that was a feature in itself.
Hey, jump off the walls up over this thing, and then do it again a little bit later with nothing changed. But it wasn't bad. I just thought, I guess I didn't get far enough where it got really challenging. I thought for the first level, you had way too much health that it didn't even seem to be an issue.
Well, I mean, it is the first level in the game, after all, right?
Yeah, I know, but I mean, Contra, first level of the game was...
Well, I mean, that's a one-hit kill system. I don't think it's really comparable.
Well, I played it right after that, so it felt easy compared to Contra.
Well,
so
yeah,
that's probably where a lot of the
easy.
basis is going. So I went from getting my ass kicked to kicking ass. So it was a lot different, but it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it.
Kevin?
We can all agree it's better than Shinobi 1.
Yes,
well.
Okay, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, I can agree with that one.
This is a good-ass platformer on the good-ass Genesis. I quite enjoyed it. I felt like a cool-ass ninja the whole time. I'm going to go back and actually try to beat it, because I didn't get very far. It's kind of burnt from Contra, but... Yeah, no, I had a great time with this. Actually, I love the level designs. I do really like all the graphics, all of them. I would say this is an easy pass.
Easy pass indeed.
Easy pass.
I pass it.
Yeah, I'll pass it.
Oh, man, it's almost like this is the best episode of games you ever picked. You're welcome.
Yeah. EGM issue 50 is when this came out, September 93. So very short after release. Texting me.
Me.
This starts with a... Is that me or is that someone else?
It's not me.
Oh, it is me. This starts with a short Plock comic. So, Kevin,
Yes.
you would love this issue.
10 out of 10. Best issue ever.
EGM gave this straight 9s across the board. You're 90 out of 100. Almost a perfect game. Not like Crash 3, of course.
Crash 3, the game with no flaws whatsoever.
Yeah. I found it funny. Each reviewer couldn't decide which Shinobi iteration this was. One said 4th, another said the 3rd. Because there was a Shinobi in between, but it didn't have the number iteration.
Didn't Shadow Dancer, wasn't that just called Shadow Dancer, though, and you had to
Correct.
learn it was
So
a
that's
Shinobi?
why some people were saying it was the 4th one. Someone was saying that this is the 3rd Shinobi. So it's kind of like a situation in modern days. It's like, well, Uncharted 4 came out. Yeah, but Lost Legacy, that was actually the 4th. Yeah, but this one's called 4.
Lost Legacy came out after 4. That's a silly argument.
Oh, you're right. You see the point I was making, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Each one praised the boss fights, loved the jet ski level, best Genesis game in ages, they said. I'd like to see what other Genesis games came out like in a year-long span.
Dynamite Heady.
Love Dynamite Head
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
so much. That might be my favorite Genesis game, actually.
Tin Head.
Colin, your pick.
All right.
No one's ever heard of this one.
My pick is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on Sega Genesis. Developed and published by Sega and released on Sega Genesis in North America on February 2nd, 1994, in the PAL regions on February 24th, 1994, and in Japan on May 27th, 1994.
Look at Japan getting the late release.
And then it also got re-released on Windows in 1997, but less said about that, the better.
Yeah, who plays games on Windows?
Joey? Play games on Windows?
On PC, so yes.
Not your actual window?
No, I was talking about the actual Windows. I thought it got released on the glass.
I played tic-tac-toe once or twice on a window.
All right.
Well, crazy.
Yeah. Premise is pretty simple. Sonic's using the Chaos Emeralds to fly around in supersonic mode, but then winds up smacking into a pillar and losing all of them, at which point Knuckles shows up and steals them, and now Sonic must get them back.
What an asshole that Knuckles character is.
When did Knuckles go from villain to hero? Actual question.
Between this one and the Knuckles game.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, where you gotta do the Tower of Games situation.
Hmm.
Yeah, this and Sonic and Knuckles were originally supposed to be one game, but then I think there was just too much content for the cartridge, so they had to split it up.
I vaguely remember reading that was their excuse.
Yeah,
But it was really that they had to make a deadline to put out Sonic 3.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
That I believe that's what I remember reading.
fair enough. Yeah, I really like this one. I mean, more and more I see where Sonic Mania got a lot of its inspiration for various mechanics, such as the different types of shields and the bonus levels with the turning the blue spheres red or into rings.
Gotta get those blue balls red, man. Can't have blue balls too long. Haha, blue balls jokes in Sonic 3. Ha ha ha.
Nice.
Gotta do it. I guess Sonic 3 could have qualified for the nice, just based on that alone. We've gotten so many emails and messages of like, what is nice? Why did you... It makes no sense. It was really funny.
You should have just responded to every email with nice.
Yeah. It's funny.
I also feel like character design wise, this was the midpoint between classic Sonic and new Sonic that premiered in Sonic Adventure.
Could say that, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about the level design that you haven't already said about, or we haven't already said about Sonic 1 and 2, although there are a few new additions, such as these big mesh pillars that you hold onto that are spinning, and then you gotta jump off at the right moment, or what else is there?
There's a lot of things that spin in this game.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of things that you spiral around on a ramp. It's just really taking advantage, really pushing the graphical capabilities of the Genesis to the limit. Although maybe not quite to the same extent as Shinobi, but close.
Oh, Shinobi's like next level with what it was doing.
Absolutely. And I like that this game telegraphs its secret areas better than the previous games.
I noticed that. It was much easier to find where they were as opposed to Sonic CD, where it just felt like it was just a mishmash of a map going different directions all the time. This one seemed to have more of an idea of how everything was laid out.
Yeah. Yeah, in previous games, it was pretty much just a crapshoot, and every single wall and floor looked the same.
Right.
But yeah, the save feature does immediately make this game better than the previous ones.
I agree so much. Yeah.
I mean, even though I've got save states on my side, it's still, I could tell that would really have made my day way back when.
But,
yes. So what it added was after each stage or act, really, it automatically saves the game for you. And so if you lose all your lives, the continue option, it'll just start you back at the act that you last saved. So, you could lose maybe one level. It's not the worst thing in the world.
ironically, this is the shortest Sonic game of the three. And it has a save function.
Yeah. Funny how that works. Otherwise, you have to go through the sound test, and that's how you get the level select, and
Shut up, you can't cheat like that.
Totally can't.
It's illegal. Mr. Sega's going to come find you.
Mr. Sega, not Mr. Sega.
No.
Yeah, for as short as the game is, it still packs in a lot of content. Like at one point, one of the boss fights actually uses Tails' flying ability as a mechanic, because you're fighting in the air with no platforms anywhere, and Sonic is hanging from Tails as he flies, and every time Sonic jumps and falls to the bottom of the screen, Tails flies back up into view with him. I don't remember if even Sonic Mania did that.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Yeah. I absolutely adore Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It's especially once I get the same feeling every time. Once I get past the Hydrocity Zone, the water level, this game just goes like S tier level for me. I see nothing wrong with a lot of it. Like the Carnival Zone is amazing. There's just so much fun going on there. The ice stages I actually find very unique and different from previous Sonic games. The music is top-notch level. I believe they're Michael Jackson type music, so no surprise there. Yeah, I did beat this game. It is I always have issues with, I think it's the second to last or last Chaos Emerald that you have to get, just because everything's so, you have to do a wild little jump mechanic to it. I always have issue. I can never get that one. And then I just kind of, because the game's a little bit on the shorter side from other Sonic games, never get Supersonic with this.
I actually found the ice cap zone to be surprisingly fun.
Yeah, the ice stage, yeah.
I remember being stuck in a loop of sliding down steep slopes and had to figure out that when you jump off from a collapsing platform, you stay on it and then do a spin dash to break through a wall to some rings to be able to advance. I thought that was pretty creative. And the music was catchy too.
I believe this is the one that introduced the Death Egg. Totally not the Death Star.
Oh, yeah.
Sonic is furry Star Wars meets furry Dragon Ball Z.
I suppose, yeah.
I
wrong.
can see that. You were correct.
I'd say it's more like furry Mega Man.
No, what? Where do you get the Mega Man vibe?
Although,
because he's blue?
You're fighting against a scientist who's obsessed with robots and constantly building new robots.
That's every villain ever. Vader makes droids.
That's also Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball androids.
So Sonic is just furry Dragon Ball Z.
What came first, the original Dragon Ball or the first Mega Man?
Mega Man. Wait, those aren't the ones we're comparing.
Now we're comparing Mega Man and what was the other one? It wasn't Dragon Ball. It was
Mega Man came out in 87.
Star Wars. That's what it was.
Dragon Ball came out in... That's not this easy. 86. So Dragon Ball came out first.
There you go. There's the answer. More like Dragon Ball.
Confirmed.
It was created. Next Dragon Ball was created in 84.
Right, the manga was,
Yeah, so.
Way before its time. So Mega Man copied Dragon Ball, like everything else in this world.
We're comparing Mega Man and Dragon Ball. We were comparing Mega Man and Star Wars. You guys completely lost the plot here.
Well, Star Wars came out first.
We were comparing Sonic and Dragon Ball.
I love it.
The only Mega Man comparison is that they're both blue. Which is enough for me.
Plus robots.
Right. No, they're both blue. Exact same game. Blue balls, blue robots. We know what's going on.
All right. So if there's anything anyone can take away from this episode, is that Mega Man, Star Wars, Dragon Ball, and Sonic are all the same thing.
You can make a connection for that because we can go from blue balls to robots, the robots to Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan back to Sonic.
Right.
It's an endless loop.
Mega Man probably also has blue balls, so you know what?
Yeah, it's true.
I think we've officially gone off the rails.
No. It's all relevant to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Sonic.
If you say so.
I didn't know Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles were different games because the one I have is Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, so once you beat Knuckles, that's basically the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and then it transitions into the Knuckles game.
Yeah, I just have them together. That's how it's in my collection.
Remember when DLC didn't feel like a giant ripoff?
This was probably the easiest end game or final boss to any Sonic game out there. Because I remember always losing to whether it's Mecha Sonic in Sonic CD or the Neo Geo Pocket Color Sonic. Just always having to repeat the final stage over and over again because the final boss was always so difficult to get the timing down and everything. This one felt like the easiest of it all, and I think I like that more, actually, now that I say it, because I'm like, I don't have to do the stage over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Anybody else get that feeling besides me and Colin? You guys beat this game?
I
didn't beat it.
You didn't beat it, Joey?
No.
You didn't beat Sonic the Hedgehog Mega Man Star Wars 3?
No, I was busy trying to save Sunderland.
Yeah, okay.
Which you can also say is connected because I'm pretty sure a lot of Sunderland fans have blue balls from not being in the Premier League for a while.
Whoa.
Well, yeah. EGM Magazine, March 1994, gave this 95 out of 100. Completed the trilogy as the best of them all. GamePro, March 94, 95 out of 100 as well. Proves that you can teach an old hedgehog new and exciting tricks. Not sure what those are exactly, except the save feature.
Oh, there's a new shield.
Was there? Yeah, the new shield. Someone wasn't that just in this game?
Wasn't the bubble and electronic thing in Sonic 2?
But was it like
Not that I remember.
as many? Because wasn't there like the red shield thing?
So.
I thought the red shield. I know the fire was introduced in this one, wasn't it?
So
I could be mixing up things at this point.
I don't know.
But yeah, basically universal praise for Sonic 3. Didn't read any mention of the Knuckles fiasco, so I thought that was interesting. So maybe news hadn't gone around that they were making Knuckles at the time, or that
didn't they come out the same time, the same year?
Well, that's the thing. I think they did, and yet they weren't mentioned in the reviews.
Pretty sure they were the same year.
Was it just unknown that they had that timing issue, or not really sure?
Sonic 3 came out in 94 February, and when did Sonic and Knuckles come out? Sonic and Knuckles came out October of 94.
Yeah. So they would have definitely had to know. They knew about that, right? They had to.
Sure. I'm getting hungry. Let's move on.
All right. Last game. Sonic 3 gets a pass. It goes for about $20.
Yeah, passing it.
Last game, Joey.
Cool. Spyro Year of the Dragon, the third one. $10 apparently. Created, developed by Insomniac, publisher Sony. Released October 2000 in North America and November 2000 in EU.
No Japan.
I liked it.
Thought that was interesting.
Do they not like dragons in Japan?
I guess
they hate.
You know what?
They hate dragons in Asia. Man, let me tell you, they super hate dragons in Asia. They never reference them ever.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So makes sense to me.
Whole continent hates them.
But I liked it. This was the last Spyro game made by Insomniac. Although I did hear they came back to help with the remasters of them, but I'm not sure about if that's true or not. I liked it. There's some things I didn't like the kangaroo levels. I just just went fast through those because I didn't like her controls. They were kind of chunky and felt like her kick didn't go far enough, so I ended up getting hit more times than hitting the enemy. So that was kind of annoying.
Preach, man. Boy, preach.
Because I was thinking, oh, these legs are going to extend. I can kick. Nope. But they can extend their spears. And I'm like, oh, whatever. That's fine.
Well, being Sheila the kangaroo also has a very fatal little mechanic to it, is when you kick, you go forward just a little bit, and it's enough where, like, if you got to kick a pot or something that's the edge of a cliff, you'll go up and kick the pot, and then your momentum in the kick will take you just far enough to always fall off.
Yeah, and it's
cool.
One of the worlds she was in, they had an enemy right on the cliff, so you had to like double jump and kick, and you had to time it perfectly because the guy also had his attack set up. So more times than not, he would hit me, I would fall down, and the guy on the ground would hit me again. So I get hit twice, and it was annoying. So, but overall, I mean, it's Spyro. There's some camera issues with it, but I still had a lot of fun with it. I was actually playing it again before the podcast this morning, so I might go back and beat it. I might even get the reimagine game.
So reignited,
reimagine, whatever the fuck it is. I might go back and get it because I looked at the graphics in it. It looks like they just updated the graphics and made it play a little better. So
they updated the graphics, got the voice actors back. They did a lot more animations and quirkiness to all the cutscenes. So it was a good release. It was a good release.
Yeah. So I watched a documentary on making of these three games, and they got the drummer from Police to do the music. And the way he did it, he would play the levels. They would give him levels. He would play it, and then he would write the music while he played to make it fit. So that's why the music for each world is different,
wow.
and it feels like it fits perfect. Because it wasn't just him looking at it, hey, here's a theme, make the music. They gave it to him to play, and as he was playing, he came up with what he thought the world would sound like as you were playing it.
That's really cool.
So that's why I think the music is pretty good in it.
Top tier.
It's the way it should be done.
I wonder if Doom Guy also did that.
He did.
He did do
Sense.
that?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I like the character. They did a lot of really fun added things in the game. They tried to bring more characters into Spyro Year of the Dragon. Introduce more of a streamlined story in the world rather than just focused on Spyro, which separated this from 1 and 2. Ripto's Rage being one of them. Because Ripto's Rage, the second one, just felt like another Spyro 1. This really made it feel like it was totally different. Everything introduced was new and more or less innovated the franchise, really.
Yeah, they did a lot of that because they did all 3 games in 3 years.
Yeah. So
which is crazy.
It's pretty incredible to think about it that way.
They added in the characters to add more to it, but without taking away from Spyro, because they wanted you to still be Spyro, but also wanted to add more stuff to it.
Right.
Oh my.
Whoa.
That's my dog.
That did not sound like a dog at all, but okay.
One of them yawns very weird.
Oh, yeah. That was me.
Colin, what did you think of Spyro Year of the Dragon?
Well, much like with Crash, this is also my first time playing any Spyro game.
Wow.
And man, I didn't have a PlayStation growing up. Neither did many of my friends.
Bummer. Should have had me as a friend.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I'll totally time travel and convince my family to move to Texas.
Damn right, Joey did.
Yeah, I like this one. I mean, I can see why people like the series so much. I mean, gameplay is fun and mostly solid, and world's pretty charming and fun to explore. Setup reminds me a lot of Mario 64, just like one hub world leading to other smaller worlds to collect certain MacGuffins. In Mario, it's stars, and in Spyro, it's eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And the platforming could be a bit frustrating.
Yep.
So, I thought a very important mechanic they threw into this game was the stop glide mechanic.
The flutter.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Joey. That's a very good word to describe it. The flutter. So you're gliding, and then you can just press. I believe it was the triangle button, and then you just flutter and stop in kind of air. But it makes sense in terms of the character and how it's working. They put a lot of thought and love into each aspect of this game.
And also that you had to use that to get some of your long glides. You would glide and flutter at the end to get that little lift to get to the platform.
Right, yeah. It's so good. This game, I played this right after Contra 3, and I was just so relaxed. I had a White Claw. I'm just like, this is what a game should be. I got a little bit of a challenge to it. The platforming's not hard, but I got to kind of master the controls a little bit to get to the next area. Oh, I got to be this new character down. Oh, nice little. Oh, okay. Sheila has a double jump, but you have to land, and that'll get you higher. Oh, that's so nice. Yes. Oh, a skateboard level. Oh, that's not too hard. I can do some sick tricks, Tony Hawk style. But I'm a dragon, so there's that. Ah, beautiful, beautiful game. I was so relaxed playing this, guys.
Don't know if this Spyro or one of the other ones, but they had crack or hack protection that it lets you play the game if it was a crack, but then right when you're about to beat it, it just wiped all of your progress. So you want to get the satisfaction of beating the game.
Ooh. Don't remember that part.
That is pretty fucking evil, but also hilarious.
Colin, you want to do a mic test for me?
Is Colin dead?
I think Colin died.
Oh man.
Well,
I was wondering why you were asking him. Like, I just took myself off mute, and I was like, "You mean me?"
No, definitely Colin, the mic test. So
damn it, Colin died again. All right, well, I'll speak for Colin.
All right, that's fair.
Game was good. I still think the first one's my favorite Spyro so far. But good way to send off the series. Every time I hear a Spyro game, I always think the subtitle is either like Year of the Dragon or Dragon's Tale, even though I know it's only like 2 of the games. But I feel like every subtitle is somehow Year of the Dragon to me. So there's that. Oh, there he is.
Yes, he's back. Colin, mic test.
That new computer is doing well.
He is not doing so well.
No.
Right at the end of the cast.
He had it going for a while.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, there. Oh.
Hey. He's back.
Something went wrong with my Audacity a few minutes.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Well, it's a good thing I have backup audio and everyone sounded
Suddenly
great.
stopped.
Did you ever use that Craigbot I showed you?
I've tried testing it out. It's pretty hit and miss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Eh.
So I tried. Yeah, I'll just have to use the backup audio. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, my recording suddenly stopped at like 2 hours and 31 minutes or so.
It's 4 minutes. It's okay. All good. So, unfortunately for this one, the Retro Mags files that I downloaded didn't have the November 2000 issues in both GamePro and EGM, so no Spyro review, fortunately. But I was able to find some quotes from the perfect GamePro review saying how perfect the game was. Another quote from EGM saying the camera could have been better, because at this time in 2000, it wasn't fully expected for the dual analog stick to be required throughout all gamers, so Insomniac went with and they were pumping out a game every year since 98, so you still use the shoulder buttons to turn the camera, and I didn't really find that too difficult in the game, actually. Did you guys?
There was at times that it sucked, like climbing up with the kangaroo again, trying to climb up the spiral, getting the camera right to get to the next platform.
Always.
Yeah, so I just had issues with the platform, but I was used to it playing them when they came out, that it didn't really bother me too much.
There we go.
So I liked the story. It was very enjoyable. I liked all the new characters. The game mechanics were improved upon from past games, which is pretty tough to say, especially if we compare it to, say, the Tomb Raider series, where they also pumped out game year over year. Year of the Dragon was definitely, I would describe as a peak for the Spyro franchise. Any disagreements with that statement?
I still like one the best, but...
You still liked what?
I still like one the best.
I think I like this one the most.
I don't know. I like the first three, so...
So just to recap here, do we all pass Spyro Year of the Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I pass it.
Alrighty.
Clean sweep. All passes. You're welcome for the greatest cast of all time. Thanks, everybody. We're done.
We kind of made it. Well, I mean, the whole theme was they were great, right?
Yeah, well, allegedly great.
Yeah, allegedly. So, just to recap, Contra 3, The Alien Wars. After that came the PlayStation release, which didn't get good reviews and essentially killed the Contra franchise from that point forward. You can point to even the latest Contra release, which was an atrocious one from Konami, and being that it was made by Konami should tell you all that you need to know. Crash 3 Warped, I believe Naughty Dog stopped making the game, so they changed developers from this point forward. Shinobi 3 didn't have another release until I believe it was 2000 with the reboot, which didn't get great sales. Sonic 3 went on. Well, what came after? They had Knuckles, and then there was no Saturn release, and then it was Dreamcast. So we know what happened there with Adventure. So there you go. And then Spyro, I believe Insomniac didn't develop the Spyro games anymore, so similar to the Crash.
It looks like they had a similar deal with Sony.
Yeah.
They both had a 3-game, maybe Crash had a 4-game deal, and then afterwards Sony kept the rights, and I think both franchises both companies we don't want to fight for it. We're going to move on to something else anyway.
Yeah. Good for Naughty Dog and good for Insomniac in that sense, because they went on to make very good games after that, while the franchise itself kind of suffered. So before the fall, it's no secret that we all picked the third, quote-unquote, 3 in each game series. So that's kind of fascinating. Kind of goes with why games get rebooted after 3 or 4 games so often. Publishers developers tend to change or drop a franchise after the 3. other companies will pick them up and try to.
Well, because I think
on.
it is after 3 you have to start adding and really change the franchise to make it different. The first one's going to be your first one. Your second one can be a clone of the first one with slight changes. The third one you're going to have to add in a little bit, but you can get away with just enough that it's different, but not enough that it's completely different. But then where do you go from there?
Yeah, and that's when it gets stale. You can definitely point to sales just plummeting, or they try something massively different, it doesn't work. You can go a number of different ways. So to recap: Spyro: Year of the Dragon, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Shinobi 3: Return of the Ninja Master, Crash Bandicoot 3: Warped, and Contra 3: The Alien Wars. Colin, favorite, least favorite, and your tiers, please.
Favorite? I think I'm going to give it to Sonic 3, although Crash 3 is a very close second. And least favorite, Contra, because it's the one that pissed me off the most. And my tiers, Contra 3 gets B tier. Sonic 3, A tier. Shinobi 3, B tier. Would be an S tier if the double jump wasn't so finicky. And Crash 3, A tier. Spyro, B tier.
What about Sonic 3?
I said A tier.
Yeah, you need to pay attention, JD. Come on.
Well, I thought he said Crash twice. Okay. Joey, your favorite, least favorite, and your tiers.
Favorite, Spyro. Least favorite, Shinobi. I'll give Contra an A. Crash Bandicoot an A. Shinobi a B. Sonic an A. And Spyro an A.
Evan, your favorite, least favorite, and your tiers.
So I think my favorite is going to be Contra 3. Just again for you got the co-op aspect of it, and it has all the graphics. I'm sorry, most of the graphics. Shinobi had all the graphics.
Yeah, Shinobi definitely did.
Yeah. Least favorite, Sonic. I think. Not really. It's not a bad thing, but like I don't know. I had this issue with Sonic games where they are really fun, gotta go fast, but then the game it comes to a point where you gotta not go fast anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I still got to that point. It's not the worst Sonic game, but I mean, it's okay. It's good. I mean, I'm gonna tier them all. I mean, it's still like a B. You don't start at Sonic. It's like a B tier game. Excuse me. Spyro, I'll also give a B tier. Shinobi's an A tier. Crash, Warp, B tier. And Contra's an A tier. A's and B's all around.
Yeah. My favorite game is going to be Sonic 3. It is still my favorite Sonic game I've ever played. I don't see anything wrong with this game, like in any way. It's definitely my favorite. Between you can run fast, you can platform. I think the game has the full package. I am giving Sonic 3 an S tier ranking. Well, and then my least favorite is, this shouldn't come as any surprise with the game I pretty much had rage to. It's Contra 3, The Alien Wars. I think if those top-down stages didn't exist altogether, it would be an S tier type retro game with me. But they do exist, so I'm giving it a B tier. That's my least favorite. Crash Bandicoot Warped, Warped. I think it's the least best out of the franchise. Had some issues with that double jump situation. I think I already went through it all basically during the review, so I'll give it a B tier as well. Shinobi 3, I said this, if that double jump was easier and easier to learn, that would be an S tier game with me, but unfortunately because of that, it's dropped to a very, very high A+. And then Spyro, you know what? It's a game for younger children, but I don't really see anything it does wrong except the Sheila sections, the kangaroo. And if that's my only real gripe with the game, that's an A tier game in my book. So there you go.
Yeah, if they got rid of the kangaroo, could be an S tier.
Yeah, I think so as well. There's nothing wrong with the game being geared towards a younger audience and does everything well in that aspect. There's no. So our next theme is my pick, and it's Sega RPGs. I can already say
All right.
You can expect Crusader of Senti on that one. These are all.
I really appreciate your thought that I'm going to be able to play this many RPGs in such a short time frame. Bold of you, especially with Last of Us coming out.
Well, these. So the basis of this Sega RPG one is strictly from the Crusader of Senti and Sega's want and need of more, whether it's action RPGs, adventure RPGs, or role-playing games in general. It's this whole project that they had to compete with Nintendo, and so it's from this certain time period of Genesis to Saturn. That period of RPGs that they wanted to put out and compete with Nintendo's RPG section, because that was what was really holding back Sega in Japan and the West in general. So keep that in mind of when you hear the games that we picked for it and why we picked them. It's all in that time frame for Sega, for the Sega RPGs.
So bold of you.
Hey, I thought I tried to think outside the box of what we could do for that, and I ended up liking a lot of the games we picked for it. I haven't played 3 of them yet, so it's very interesting. Colin, I think you'd be very interested in one of those games that we picked, at least out of a curiosity standpoint. So I think from a historical perspective, we'll have a lot to go through with that. So yeah, look forward to episode 71. That's Sega RPGs coming up at the end of the month. And hey, see you next time.
Bye now.
Bye.
Who are you?